only a moment away from the commencement of the 2020 AFL Grand Final. 3AW's coverage brought to you by McDonald's. In special comments, Matthew Lloyd, Lee Matthews, Jimmy Bartell. Our main commentators, one of the great sporting voices in Australia, Tim Lane. My final duty is all thanks to Gazman, Australian menswear since 1974. Shop gazman.com.au today. Lee, your last thoughts on the game. Who wins prior to the bounce?
Well, I'm just leaning towards Geelong because I think they've just been a little bit better the last 3 weeks of the final. Simple as that.
So, Lloydie.
Yeah, Tone, I am the opposite. I'm leaning towards the Tigers. I think it will be a little bit slippery, and I feel that they're so good at shutting down other teams' strengths, and I think they can shut down the uncontested marking game, triple team Hawkins, and win a tight one.
Before I get your thoughts, Jim, for Gazman, we'll take the toss live.
Oh, it's not even
tail.
What is
it's a tail.
Go down that way.
Tail.
So, Trent Cotchin's exquisite knowledge of the Gabba, informing everyone they're going that way. The Gazman, Jim, do you believe? And I got the impression that's to the main scoreboard. Lee, although both about the same size now.
What, the two yeah, that's right. The two scoreboards are actually the same size, so that doesn't help you. He's gone, broadly speaking, he's gone, I think it's east. But I'm not sure. Seriously, up here, because the Brisbane River, unlike the Yarra,
yep,
it winds its way around the place. I've never been up here 20 years, and I'm never sure where north is, for instance, where south is. So I think it was in an east. They're going the easterly direction. I'm pretty
on your
sure.
Left, I think.
I think, yeah, on my. I think, I don't. Yeah. Anyway, that's just a bit of an aside when he went there. He said, "I'm going that way."
Yes, he certainly did.
He doesn't know either.
Jim, do you believe in sides of destiny in predicting the grand final? Do you think that some sides just got the momentum and this is their time?
No, I think we look at that in a sort of more of a reflective nature. Once the side's won, we then start to backtrack and go, well, there's a fair bit of destiny with that, or you find a good story. Look, there's good stories on both sides of this. Richmond looking to probably stamp themselves as a great side of the modern era. 3 premierships in 4 years, the Dustin Martin story, but Geelong as well, the Gary Ablett fairy tale, Joel Selwood, 4-time premiership player for the Cats. So I think there's great stories everywhere.
There was whispers during the week that Dalhouse may get the job on Bashir Hooley. He started on him, and Nathan Broad has got the job on Dangerfield.
So here we go. The first bounce, final game of the season. It is Geelong and the Tigers for Chemist Warehouse, Tim Lane.
Craig Fleer bounced the ball in the slippery conditions, his first grand final. He'd only done one final before this season, so it's a mercurial rise for him. Geelong gain a few metres out of the middle. The pack forms over the ball, and there will be a toss-up by umpire Fleer. The big men wrestle, Stanley and Nankervis. Cotchin, in the old-fashioned way, sinks his boot into it off the carpet, and so does Bolton from out wide. Gains 30 metres. Taylor led Lynch to it for Geelong. It's out to the boundary and will be thrown in between wing and half-forward for the Tigers, who are going to the eastern end in this opening quarter.
Yeah, formerly known as that way. No score yet for Chemist Warehouse. Ball tossed in. Stanley at the back, Nankervis at the front. Ball spills front of the pack. I think there's going to be a lot of this all night, Lee, and that is plenty of hard tackling and plenty of packs.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of pressure. No, it'll be a hot footy, particularly early while the players are at maximum energy levels.
So, ball on the wing, Nankervis, Stanley, both have a touch of it. Clear possession, the Cats. Selwood floats but goes wide, out of bounds on the full. Free kick to Broad at halfback for Richmond. No score yet, minute and a half gone, Tim, all thanks to Tyre Power, the Tyre Power clock. Richmond and Geelong. Richmond has the ball at halfback through Nathan Broad.
Who will drive it longish. He didn't make great contact with that. To Lynch and Taylor, neither marked. Looked like marking. O'Connor collects for the Cats. Hand pass to Guthrie was at bootlace level and difficult. Tigers knock it forward. It's socket further forward, but Stewart's in the way. Gets a quick kick out of immediate danger for Geelong. Dalhouse tackled, taken to ground. His kick went sideways. Kept alive for Richmond by Prestia. No, it wasn't. It'll be thrown in. Forward of the wing for the Tigers. in the first couple of minutes of the grand final.
Thought the boundary umpire was operating on 7-second delay doing radio talk back then.
He was a bit, but Colin Jasny's got the match up with Dustin Martin, and he's not going to allow Martin just to move midfield forward. He'll just follow him.
No score yet. Selwood off the deck. Chemist Warehouse scoreboard after 2.5 minutes. And something which you should press F7 on the computer, and that is ball goes out of bounds. And F8 on the computer tonight, Jim, will be pack forms, ball on the wing.
Yeah, so what Colin Jasny's doing, Dustin Martin likes to go forward, then bring the match up. Colin Jasny will just stay with him.
Nankervis, a hand onto it, was good to Edwards. Hand pass in front of Lambert. Waited for the nice little bounce and got it. Kicks into the 50 for the Tigers. Awkward bounce there for Castagna. Henry took possession for Geelong. Had to get rid of it. Blitzarves gets him out of it. Gives a hand pass to Henderson. Neat sidestep. He's very cool. Kicks out towards the wing. No one can mark. Falling ball covered by Floston. Hand pass out towards the boundary. Hooley lets it go over for a throw in just forward of the wing for Richmond.
And so what it's doing with the matchups, Tom Stewart's almost a free behind the ball, and Nick Vlaston's the free for the Richmond defence.
No score yet. Ball on the Stanley Street wing where both teams congregate. 3.5 minutes gone. Nankervis maybe slapped, but nothing decisive at the moment. Selwood grab without it. Clean possession. Guthrie of Geelong. Ball goes to half forward. First promising look for the catch. Quick one off the deck that time, Bolter. Unconvincing for mine. Still in the centre square forward of it. O'Connor shoved in the back. Play on the call. Richmond halfback Baker goes wide. McIntosh got the boot onto the ball. Didn't find the boundary line. Neutral territory. Out this time on the Vulture Street wing. Free kick Geelong for sure. Has been grabbed without the football. It was Myers.
It hurt you. That Tom Lynch is just unnecessary. You know, giving away easy free kicks like that against Brian Myers. It can be hard, but not reckless about it.
4 gone, no score yet. All thanks, Tim, to Chemist Warehouse.
Short ball to Colin Jasny, behind the centre, kicks to the centre circle. Henry up, couldn't mark. Down Blitzarves, couldn't get around a tackle, lost the footy. Picked up by Graham, hand pass to Pickett. Driving Richmond forward, but he's blazed away as he is inclined to do at times under pressure. Straight to Henderson, who wastes no time. Kicks long, clears the centre line, and then a bounce and a skid in towards half forward. Dangerfield knocks it back the other way, but to Ablett. He gave to Blitzarves, gang tackled. Ball held in, there will be a ball up. Floston's down, and Ablett's down. They've collided, and both of them are in trouble. A head clash, Floston with Dangerfield, or a bit of arm up, bit of protective arm.
He punched the ball on, Tim, and actually when he punched the ball on, Bloston's run into the kind of the elbow fist that was punching the ball on. So an interesting altercation, that one. I think that's accidental, I would think, first look.
And just on Ablett, so he's been tackled by Cochin. He's landed with his forearm to protect himself. He looks in big trouble. He was holding his collarbone, shoulder and forearm. Looks like a broken forearm.
Sorry, Lloyd, exact same way he hurt his shoulder when McCaffer tackled him, where the whole entire body weight goes on the forearm with that arm just sitting out there by itself. He's done.
Yeah.
He's done for the day.
5 minutes into the grand final, his last game. This is a sad moment. And for Nick Vlaston, it looks as though it could be over too. He's out. He's unconscious. They've brought out a stretcher. Well, he's had a shocking week. Of course, he's had that fire.
Let's have another look for Yarra Valley and Croydon Toyota. Lordy, take us through the first action, Dangerfield and Floston.
He was looking to knock the ball out, and his elbow was still out after knocking it, and Floston's run into it. So, and then the Ablett one, he was tackled. As Jimmy's spot on, it was how he did his shoulder against the Gold Coast Suns. He was protecting himself, and he's done his shoulder pretty much again. So I think Vlaston's a bigger loss, to be honest. Yeah. I think he's a huge... I know they're both big, but Vlaston behind the ball is critical.
Yeah, because he was set up as that, that spare sweeping type. He plays the role that Tom Stewart plays for Geelong, but I guess, Lee, the only thing is it's 1 for 1. We can't say rotations or things like that. At least they've sort of lost one each at the same time.
It's a brutal game, isn't it? It was the same passage of play, but two players in separate parts of the passage looked like they might be done for the day. So, did you have a couple of looks at the contact with Dangerfield and Vlaston enough to think, was it incidental, accidental?
I think it's incidental. Jimmy, do you think that he could be in a bit of trouble?
I'm not sure. Look, he'll get away with it because of the timing of the motion, but The forearm stays up a long time. An
Yeah,
elbow.
it's almost like two actions, wasn't it,
Yeah.
Jimmy? Like he punched the ball on, but then maybe brought the forearm up again, sort of to protect himself. But you're not allowed to protect yourself.
Another Yarra
like that.
Valley Croydon Toyota replay.
Yeah,
Of course, when it's slowed down, the time is distorted, isn't it, when you see it in slow motion?
And Lee, I think you're right there that he knocks it on, but then he does look like there is a second action after it to probably trying to say, I was trying to protect myself.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's collected him in the face.
The
But
injury.
what we do know, you can't protect yourself by making contact with another guy's head. That's the basis of the rules, Jimmy. I think, isn't it? We reading it that way?
Yeah, I think so.
State of the game. Play has stopped for the last 2 minutes. No score yet. As to really significant actions, the injury update for Click for Vic, support Victorian businesses at visitvictoria.com/click4vic. Gary Ablett has been taken from the ground, holding his left elbow as he fell awkwardly, trying to brace himself for the fall, and he's been taken from the ground. Nick Floston, who was collected by Patrick Dangerfield, seemingly in the run of play, has been knocked out cold. His neck is in a brace. He's been placed onto the mobile ambulance. Everything has been stabilised for Floston. And now comes the question, Lee. He's definitely gone for the day. We think Ablett is gone for the day. What does Damien Hardwick do to rearrange the side? What cards has he got to use?
Well, I guess it's who's his. I mean, basically, teams always pick 7 defenders. Like you got 6 on the field and 1 interchange player is normally part of your defensive rotation. So you can only play what you've got on interchange at the moment. So I'm trying to think who is the most likely. The Broad is out there. We'll see who was a replacement. But the fact is, he's a very good intercept marking half-back flank of Loston. I mean, if anyone can help Grimes in the air and Bolger in the air against the marking power of Geelong, it's Floston. So that's one type of player I don't think there's a replacement in the Richmond team for him.
And then there's the mental aspect of it, Tone. It's how you settle afterwards. So, there's some players will be unsettled. I know I've been part of them where players have been knocked out or there's been an all-in brawl. And it's just one team often can settle best. So just on Ablett, we looked it up. Ablett has done his left shoulder and he did his left shoulder for the Gold Coast Suns as well. So same shoulder, obviously a weakness there. And the look on his face coming down the race. He knew, and you're thinking, I've built up to this, I've waited this long, and my day is over.
The incredible unpredictability of the early minutes of a grand final, and I've got to go back to 1989, I think, to think of something as dramatic and unexpected as this. Dermot Brereton, of course, collected by Mark Yates moments after the first bounce, and then Gary Ablett Sr. kicked a goal as Geelong went forward. Well, there's a Gary Ablett involved in all of this. The outcome, much less happy. His night looks to be over. His 357th game and his career coming to an end in totally unforeseen and sad circumstances, but counterbalanced in the run of the match by the fact that we're watching Nick Floston at the moment. He's now conscious. He's pulling some sticking plaster off his left wrist. How clearly he's thinking and whether he's wondering about whether he's able to get back into this game, goodness knows. Players about to resume. It's pretty much on the centre line and there's going to be a ball up, but boy, who could have imagined this? Quite extraordinary. Still no score on the board and still almost 13 minutes left in the opening quarter, but a player down, a key player on each team.
Can I just say, what I've noticed is Richmond's tackling in this first 4 or 5 minutes is ferocious, and there was nothing that, Cotchins was just a good strong tackle on Ablett, but they are hunting in packs to Geelong, Jimmy, giving them no time and space.
Yeah, and I think that'd be a key for Richmond too, because Geelong have really, their last 2 finals had no pressure on them. The Collingwood game, they just walked their way through, and then the Brisbane game, the last 2.5 quarters, it was a training drill for them. So you dial up the pressure because Geelong probably haven't played under that sort of pressure where Richmond did last week against Port Adelaide.
So what a start to this grand final. No score yet. We're going 12 minutes, but play had stopped for 5 minutes. Nick Floston knocked out, taken from the ground on the mobile ambulance. Gary Ablett last game landing awkwardly, left elbow, shoulder. His night looks well and truly over. Ball on the wing. We start again for Chemist Warehouse. No score yet. Little one off the deck that time. Menegola found its way then to Stanley. High to full forward. Under pressure, the Tiger defence. Bolter's kick charge down. Hurley. Ball just slips through the hands. Broad stays back, goes for the boundary line. Taking defensive 50. Lambert there at halfback. Well done that time then by Picketley. Just trying to create something at halfback. Ball went out of bounds, but that was some confident handling of the footy.
It was, but really interesting setup because the Tigers have got an extra midfield around the stoppages, and Geelong are playing an absolute spare defender, goalkeeper type role with Tom Stewart. So that means Richmond should be better in the stoppages with the extra number, but they won't run the ball through, without a contest forward to centre.
Richmond's ball, Martin, a hand pass which wasn't great, stolen by Selwood, kick smothered. Edwards went in but forgot to take the footy with him. Ball socket Richmond's way, gives Short a moment of opportunity, and he breaks with great enterprise and speed. Has a couple of bounces, has to use his left foot. He's superb with his right. That kick's a horror, and it's marked by Stewart right above the chalk. Might have been tempted to see if it would go out on the full, but he went for the mark and he took it just beyond defensive 50 for the Cats.
No score yet after 13 minutes. Play had stopped for 5 minutes. On the wing, Hawkins, good hands. Tried to get the Dalhouse in the back, I would have thought, as Cochin got over the top. Now, Dalhouse might be the one in trouble. He is. And it's a free kick to Geelong, Jim. To Richmond, I should say.
Yeah, if he didn't get the free kick for high, he did dive on the footy and didn't try and get rid of it. So, been instructed all year, that's holding the ball.
For Chemist Warehouse, no score yet. Richmond inside attacking 50. Lynch doubles back. Was he grabbed? Playing the call. Chance for Edwards. Ball just slips around. Tries to toe poke at 20 out. Richmond are into attack. Well done that time then as the clearance from Menegola toward halfback. Play on the call. Short can't get there. Ball runs out of bounds. Let's remind you of what's happened. The injuries for Click for Vic. Support Victorian businesses. Nick Floston's night's over. Knocked out cold. Taken from the ground on the mobile ambulance. Gary Ablett's night seemingly over. Horrible pain with an elbow shoulder trauma, I would say, to the left shoulder. Ball on the wing. Tossed in that time then. Blitzarv's trying to do the ruck work. Coming through hard that time then. Parfitt can't get the football. Should be a free kick to Geelong. It is Tim on the wing.
So still no score, and in fact neither team has looked like scoring thus far in the contest, and certainly early goals will be very hard to find, you would imagine. The Cats take it way back to within about 20 of the opposition goal. Stewart clears beyond Henderson, who had to turn and hope he could get there inside the boundary line. He couldn't, and there will be a throw-in. Lloydie, interesting that we talked about Toby Nankervis and the possibility of him getting injured. You said, well, they've got Asprey on the bench. Asprey's been called into the fray now, and he's a really handy person to be able to come in as Richmond have to reset down the back without Floston. Edwards from the throw-in gave to Castagna. Got a standing start kick very high in the air, gained 20 metres. It's at the 50 for Richmond. Menegola doing good things again. Little hand pass off. O'Connor's got it. Well tackled. Gave to Tui. Gives to Menegola. Lovely sidestep. Now advances. Kick short. Did it well to Guthrie. Handing it off, and Geelong are on the build. Hawkins is on the lead and he's taken a mark. And this will be the first shot at goal from about 40 out when he kicks, maybe 45 on a 45-degree angle.
Hey, Lee, it was the first time they've probably been able to run and link up, and Hawkins got out the back.
Well, they've got that extra defender, so they've got an extra number on their back half, so they've got to try and use that to have get it to a really creative player to actually go and find the movement. But talk about the accuracy, Lordy. You bet the weight of the world's on Hawkins' shoulders as he's moving in.
As it was on preliminary final night last year when he was out suspended and looked on as Geelong lost to Richmond. He comes in and he just misses across the face. The first score is a behind to the Cats on the Chemist Warehouse board.
That it is. After 16 minutes again, play had stopped for the best part of 6 or 7 minutes. Chemist Warehouse and Soft Mid keeping AFL Grand Final attendee safe, Jim.
Yeah, if you do any forward scouting the Cats, 9 times out of 10, Mitch Duncan going inside forward 50 is going to kick it to Tom Hawkins.
So, footage or review from the room. Nick Floston is up and walking around, but knocked out cold. Ball on the wing. Broadcast of Vulture Street side of the ground. Coming through Bolton. Quickly, Castagna kick wasn't good. Picked off by Guthrie, half forward. has to kick on the outside of the right boot, deep into the forward pocket. Geelong go again. Hawkins, he took it, played on quickly, tried to get the Rowan ball out of bounds.
Should have had the shot, Tone.
I just wonder whether he thought he didn't or wasn't going to be paid the mark, Lloydie, and decided to play on. That was an excellent grab for Prestige Hino, but decided to play on.
Hope he hasn't got the
thought
yips.
it was touched.
I thought
touched on the way down.
replay indicated Bolter might have got a fingertip to it. Whether the umpire saw it, I don't know. Hawkins takes it out of the air at the throw-in. Gave to Dangerfield, to Myers, back to Dangerfield. Now to Tui. There's a whistle. A Geelong free kick to Dangerfield. Graham none too happy with umpire Fleer's adjudication. And Dangerfield now in a good scoring spot directly in front, and he'll kick from about 50.
Again, Tom Hawkins at a ruck contest, boundary throwing. He's always going to push you in the back and force you under.
Damien Hardwick not too happy about that decision from the umpire either.
A dislocated finger for Parfitt, so it's all happening. What a thumb it is. What a brutal grand final it's been so far. Tough.
So, for the first goal of the match, Dangerfield from 50. Oh, he's hooked it. And his set shooting for goal is not his strong suit. Minor score, Geelong by 2 points. And we are almost exactly at the halfway point of the quarter. And look what we're seeing on our screens.
Ablett's back.
Tone.
Yes. Thankfully, we didn't rule him out. We said it was unlikely. Good to know that lasted 6 minutes, boys. Thanks for your expertise as Selwood knocks the ball toward half forward. Lambert there, Tui's there, 2 behind Geelong. Chemist Warehouse scoreboard, ball out of bounds. And, Lloyd, I don't want to go the early crow. You should never do that in punting, saying you're home, you're home. I got a sneaking suspicion Geelong is not cheap suiting them at the moment, but just look to be easily the better team. Play on's the call. Dalhouse puts him inside 50. Richmond defence under pressure again. Baker picks up, decides to go up the gut. Well, not quite up the guts. A little bit wide toward the wing. One-on-one battle there. Taylor's there. Knocks it to the boundary line. Ball doesn't get there. And then Rioli just took his eyes off it, Jim. Ball goes out of bounds, neutral territory.
Yeah, Harry Taylor, he's almost trying to play the role he played on Nick Rewalt all those years ago. He's not going to worry about marking it or touching it. He's just going to knock it away every single time from Tom Lynch. And
Sorry, Tony, he's really sore, Ablett, but rotations-wise critical that he can at least place the minutes for the Cats.
So 20 gone, tie power, clock, 2 behind the Cats as they clear from the stoppage.
Yeah, Simpson gave to Menegola, whose kick was hurried, and it fell into enemy hands. Short again has to use the left foot and doesn't use it well. No one able to mark inside Richmond's 50. Clever Edwards to Rioli, to Graham. Now to Presti, a snap round the corner, and the Tigers get the first. And it took more than half a quarter in coming. It took a lot of grim defence, a couple of wayward kicks in front of goal from the Cats. And Richmond lead 1 goal to Geelong, 2 behinds for Chemist Warehouse. Here's Jimmy Bartell.
Well, check your sweep tickets. Who had Dion Prestia as first goal kicker? I don't think we would have probably picked him if we were selecting him, so you probably would have got him in a sweep if you won that one. But what was really impressive about that was Bolton's effort to get back and make a contest. And he didn't give away the free kick, which you thought when he was going front on, but leapt really high and was able to turn and face the footy, create a spoil. Clean hands here, Richmond. This is what they're so good at, just creating chaos inside forward 50, keeping the ball alive until one is out and steadies, and they took that from not even really a 50-50 to a snapshot from 25 metres out straight in front.
Yeah, they were bees to a honeypot when they got it to ground level. Too many Geelong players were at the contest and too many Tigers were out, at width. Dion Prestia, he's changed the dynamic of Richmond since he's come back, allowing Dusty to play forward. And they were ranked 16th for clearances through home and away footy. They're now the number 1 clearance team in the comp.
So, Richmond by 4 points. Ball's bounced. It looked like listening to Pink Floyd eating cheesels late at night. That bounce sort of came almost 3D out of the TV, that one. All in the middle of the ground. Well, actually, it wasn't cheesels. For some reason, it was lollygobble bliss bombs. That was just quite out of body, that one. Still in the middle of the ground. Tap that time, Stanley. Martin through traffic. Back of the square has it. Round the body. Richmond by 4 points. Lynch leads up. Ball bounces off the chest. Selwood there. Grab without it. Buse half back. Bolton tackles. Releases the ball. Series of handball. Blitzarve. Stanley through hands. It misses. Richmond make the turnover. Martin took his time and found a man.
Oh, it was a beautiful pass. Drew Baker forward. He feeds off. And it's driven goalward for the Tigers by McIntosh, who gets their second goal. 2 in a minute for Richmond. and suddenly the complexion of things changes. 2 straight to 2 behinds. Lee Matthews at the Gabba.
Well, they've taken their chances, really, but it's interesting the way this game is set up with this, with Stewart playing that, just virtually the spare player in the back 50. So Richmond have to decide what do they do with that extra number upfield. But one thing, if they want to bomb the ball 15 metres from goal, they're going to be outnumbered in the air. So I think they've either got to be taking, as happened then, the run through the 50-metre mark, take the long shot, or the ground level ball. That's going to be the dangerous one. I think that's you can see the setup of the game, of the way Richmond are going to have to score. Geelong had a couple of chances but missed them, and you've got to take your chances as well.
Great to know we're getting our advice from Dr. Nick Riviera from The Simpsons, because Ablett, whose left arm was about to be amputated, is back on the ground. 10-point lead to the Tigers. Chemist Warehouse scoreboard, it's 12 points to 2, 2 goals to 2 behinds. But again, Lee, it's that sharp movement from the stoppage that Richmond have perfected over the last few years.
That's going to be the way they're going to have to score. So I don't think they're going to take the big marks up forward, so they've got to run the ball.
Play restarts, middle of the ground, Blitzarve, 7:20, play on the call, Dangerfield on the wing, has it. Tried to break 1, 2 tackles, holding the ball, Richmond free. Now, it should come back to Graham. There's no advantage. As Guthrie appeals, Bolton was all set to play on, but I wouldn't have thought so, as once again, Dangerfield protects himself, pushing off Prestia. Richmond go to half forward. Oh, Edwards, not quite. Playing the call. Ball spills front of the pack. Graham, Castagna, Rioli to Martin round the body. He's given it a fly close to goal. Menegola punches it through, 1 behind. 2-1-13 the Tigers, 2 behinds the Cats. And that is all for Chemist Warehouse, Tim, as we're 24 into the quarter, but the long stoppage means we still have 6 minutes of playing time for the tyre power.
Stewart plays on, goes Lee Matthews wing, no one can mark, off at Pack Myers, runs and from behind the wing, kicks to the wing, and the mark is taken by Dalehouse, the Bulldog Premiership player, now in the blue and white hoops. He pokes a half distance kick forward to Parfitt, who's got it between centre and centre half forward for Geelong, looking for their first goal. Bold kick, good kick, and Guthrie marks it about 48 metres out. Now more problems for the Tigers down the back, as Broad is being attended, I think, by a runner or a trainer, and it looks as though he's being told, I think you need a spell, so he might have taken a hit high as well. Yeah. And it was in a marking contest, as we now having confirmed by Yarra Valley Toyota replay. Geelong looking for their first, and Cam Guthrie, who's had such an outstanding year from a long way outside 50, kicks it well, kicks it beautifully, no problem with the distance, and it held its line inside the left post. Geelong have their first. Richmond 2-1-13, Geelong 1-2-8 on the Chemist Warehouse scoreboard, with just under 5 minutes left in the opening term.
So when they get their uncontested game going, they can pick a few holes through Richmond. So that's the key, but Richmond haven't allowed it too often. So it's been the pressure of Richmond which created a couple of goals versus that, Jim, where Hawkins missed, but it was through their precise kicking. That one was through their precise kicking, so that's the key to the game. Can Richmond keep up this pressure for 4 quarters? And we're just having a look at Nathan Broad. Is he going through a little concussion test at the moment?
He is, good buddy. In that last marking contest, he copped a little bit of friendly fire, and it did look like Richmond, because he would have been normally pushing back to be that extra defender in defence. They've looked at one player short. There was a big gap up there. Great kick from Parfitt to find Cam Guthrie, but the finish from just outside 50, he absolutely smashed that home. But he's going through the concussion test. Doctors are trying to have a look to see what's happened, but he keeps saying, no, I'm good, get him back.
I'll tell you what'll fix him up. Just show him that footage of the ball coming out of the TV screen from the middle of the ground again. And if he falls for that one, he is in awful trouble. Out of the middle they go. Guthrie to half forward. Ablett there can't really go at it full tilt. Handball away that time. McIntosh, they lost it. Geelong won it back. To half forward it goes. Hawkins can't bend over. Pick it up short of Richmond. He handballed it straight out of bounds. As Nathan Broad, I don't know whether he's smiling or like an infant who needs a dose of Finurgan's got a bit of wind, but whatever, he's had a concussion test, that's for sure. Asprey and Ablett go at it. Geelong inside 50, trail by 5 points. 2, he had it, lost it. Ablett got the ball back. Duncan sweeping handball to a person in the crowd, basically, and the ball goes out of bounds. Lee, 35 around from Geelong's goal, but Richmond lead by 5 points. Lee, 13-8 for Chemist Warehouse.
That looked like a deliberate hand pass to the boundary line to set up another forward stoppage. I think Geelong are quite keen on Hawkins in these forward stoppages.
Every now and then, if it's blatant enough, the umpires don't seem to notice. As from the ball up, Tui's got it for Geelong. Hand pass to Buse, quick left footer, just too strong for Hawkins, whom he was after, and off his fingers to the boundary as the Cats hold it inside their 50. There will be another throw-in.
So Geelong into attack. We are, for tyre power, 27 minutes on the tyre power clock. Still 4 minutes to go. Geelong trail by 5 points, but they're deep into attack. Richmond's defence has got a hold. Hurley, the great pick up, the quick kick, no mark, still inside 50. Selwood had it, good handball, tried to get it to Hawkins. Sweeps it to Duncan, he'll get onto the left boot. Now we'll get onto the right boot. Around the body, kick really had no purchase. Picked up by Hurley, well done. Got it to Cochin, who kicks it as far away as he can to a one-on-one. Ball on the broadcast wing, back of the pack that time then Henry. Got the ball then to, it was Stewart who got it to Stewart. Sorry, the other way around. Stewart got it to Duncan and the ball goes out of bounds. 5 point margin, in fact, carrying slightly out on the full. Free kick to the Tigers at halfback.
Short, centering kind of kick. Stanley over the top. Edwards having a good quarter. Took the crumb like Kevin Bartlett. Kicked it forward. Stewart, a very important hand in there as Bolton was presenting danger. Got it off. Oh, there are more injuries. What's happened here?
A couple of blokes have ran onto the field and the security are actually removing them as we speak.
Oh, that's an impressive start by the Queensland faithful.
Yeah. Not sure how that all happened. It was well out of play. Anyway, the idiots have done it. They're off the ground now.
So the umpires had to stop play inside Richmond's 50.
Tim, what the Gabba Trust should actually do is get a couple of boys that used to work for Joe Jalke Peterson and Russ Inns to mete out a bit of old-fashioned Queensland discipline back in the day.
Summary justice, Tone.
You know what you would do? You'd just lock them in the freezer down there till about Wednesday. That's just stupidity. Like Brisbane, you're on display. You get those fools coming onto the ground. And I'm hoping that the bloke who's running across the ground isn't dressed up as
He's a good guy. No, he's one of the good guys.
Goodness for that.
It might be an argument against the night grand final, Tone. People well oiled by early evening. And you get this sort of stupidity.
2-1-13 Richmond, 1-2-8 the Cats. Chemist Warehouse scoreboard as Tui goes very, very short to Selwood. Still has a defensive 50 for the Cats.
Cats generally having to play Richmond's style of game, although here they're using their precise short kicking possession game, and now they switch play. Duncan going across ground to Stewart. He goes very wide, but it's okay to Henry. Clear of the defensive 50. Kicks low up the wing. Doesn't hit Tui cleanly, and the Irishman can't keep it in play. There'll be a throw in just forward of the wing for the Cats in front of the dugouts.
Yeah, they've done that twice, but just missed the kicks. They went out once to Henderson. They were able to get Richmond really sort of high in defence and tried to go around them, as we see Broad back on the field, looking okay.
Comes back onto the field. Fresh air shot on the wing that time by Koch and toe poke Edwards. Richmond by 5 points have it wing half forward. Henry back there. Didn't quite take it, nor Henderson. But they kept the feet without falling over. I thought Taylor was a certainty to go out. Ball somehow has now gone out. And a bit like, Jim, when you drop a catch in cricket, the ball follows you around. That boundary umpire, he has been called in to adjudicate on some very tough ones.
Yeah, didn't drop a catch, Tom.
Sorry. Richmond by 5 points late in the quarter. But it's Geelong winning the stoppage. They go toward half forward. Hurley, who's almost come up to the middle of the ground, wins it. Little handball backwards. Richmond control at halfback.
Bolter wide to McIntosh. On the scoreboard with an early goal. Just his 6th of the season. And Dion Prestia kicked the other one. Only his 3rd. So a bonus for Richmond, who keep it wide on the Vulture Street side of the ground. Broad back in play. Short to Baker, who takes the mark behind the wing. And the diminutive Baker drives it into the 50, where Geelong have the numbers. Well done, Stewart. Done a couple of very good defensive things, and he does a couple of them here before bombing it clear, but not really well placed. It'll be collected by Asprey, who gets a hand pass away from Hawkins to Revolt, having a run up the ground at the moment, but his kick's horrible. And it's straight to Tom Stewart, who might be the early leader in the Norm Smith medal voting. Richmond 2-1 lead, Geelong 1-2.
So late in the quarter, minute minute 18 remains. Richmond by 5 points. As Geelong has it, sort of wing half back. Myers to the middle of the ground, dangerous, effective. Stanley's got it. Richmond now stretched. They can swing it round, try and find Menegola. Ball goes up, off hands. Ablett a chance, kicks it off the deck inside 50. Hooley toe pokes as well. Lux of Fortune ended up with Cochin to the middle of the ground. They go. Stanley's had a pretty tidy quarter. Takes the grab in the middle of the ground. Geelong can go forward.
It's a high-pressure, high-quality contest. The Cats advance again into the 50. Two of them can raffle it, and Duncan, as Buse obligingly let it go, Duncan takes the mark. Well within range, but on a tight angle out in the Jason Ackermanis pocket at the Gabba. Well, he's not that close to the boundary line. He's about 40 out. And he's kicking from an angle tighter than 45 degrees, but enough daylight there that the ball won't get stuck between the posts. If he kicks it straight, it comes in, and he kicks it straight and beautifully, and he puts the Cats in front. 2-2 to Richmond, 2-1 in the dying seconds of the quarter. A goal of the day, thanks to Dan Murphy on 3AW's grand final football.
It's amazing. They're breaking down, going inside forward 50, Richmond. They're just bombing the ball to the extra numbers behind the ball for Geelong. Now, they've had 11 inside 50s, Richmond for Husqvarna to Geelong's 8. But Geelong are so much more efficient when they go inside 50 to find a free player. Richmond are just kicking it to numbers, so they can't just blaze away, Jim, because it's really hurting them.
Yeah, putting Duncan inside is a big weapon inside the contest for the Cats, because Richmond's midfielders, they like to attack themselves and they use players on the outside to pick them up. But what Mitch Duncan does, he works his way from the inside of the contest really hard to the outside, and he's had the 8 touches already in the first quarter, but he's probably got most of them not from the initial play, but when the play's gone away from a stoppage or a clearance situation, he's the next one to get onto it because he's such a powerful runner. So it's like he gets Cochin or one of the inside mids and then gets hard forward early.
So Mitch Duncan having an excellent start. We're at the 34-minute mark of the first quarter. We'll go through the injuries, but Nick Foster's night absolutely over. Back in the middle, 5 seconds to negotiate. Ball goes to Martin. That'll take us to quarter time. Excellent game. 2-2-14. Geelong by a point at quarter time over Richmond. 2-1-13. Duncan and Guthrie for the Cats. Prestia and also McIntosh. Yes, McIntosh, I should say, for the Tigers. First quarter brought to you by Chemist Warehouse. Great to have them aboard this year. Thank you for your support. Chemist Warehouse and Softmed keeping AFL Grand Final attendees safe. So it was a quarter and a long quarter. Arguably, it was 35 minutes, one of the longest of the season due to the injury sustained to Nick Floston being knocked out. Ablett looked gone. He has returned. And Nathan Broad copped a high one. Friendly fire late in the quarter. All summed up, it is Geelong 2-2-14 to Richmond 2-1-13. Right across Australia, all thanks to McDonald's. Get free small fries and Coke with Macca's new McSpicy or Palmy Burger. You are listening to 3AW Football. And the Cats are in front, 2-2-14 to 2-1-13. 3AW Football, all thanks to McDonald's. Grand final night, not without incident in the first quarter. Went nearly 35 minutes. Injury update, all thanks to Click for Vic. Support Victorian businesses at visitvictoria.com/Click for Vic. Nick Floston's night over in a clash with Patrick Dangerfield. Was knocked out, taken from the ground. Play held up for 5.5 minutes. Gary Ablett's shoulder all looked to be in awful trouble, but he's returned to the ground. And Nathan Broad had to take some time out. Little concussion test. He is back. Geelong by a point. For Husqvarna, some stats, please, Lloydie, before I go to Lee.
Yeah, the key winners. Shane Edwards had a brilliant first quarter, 7 disposals. Cochin 7. Dusty Martin's had 5 down the bottom, and Tom Lynch yet to touch the footy. And for the Cats, Duncan had a huge quarter, 8 disposals. Tom Stewart just finds the footy 8. Joel Selwood 7. Where the Tigers are on top is inside 50s 12-8. The Cats' clearance is 13-9 their way, Tone.
Lee?
Well, it's actually, we were talking about our Uber Eats matchups before the game. The way the game has evolved, Geelong have very much gone out with saying we're going to play Tom Stewart when the ball's up the middle of the ground as a definitive back 50 player. Now, Richmond have made the choice. What do we do here? Do we have an extra at the stoppage? So at the moment, David Asprey is playing a similar role for Richmond. So whenever a spare man in defence is set up, you say to yourself, is our spare man going to be more valuable than your spare man? And right at the moment, I reckon Stewart is looking more valuable in that function than Asprey is for Richmond. So even though they're getting more inside 50 entries, Richmond, they're kind of rebounding back because they haven't taken an inside 50 mark because Stewart is that extra tall player back there. So I just think the game has been more in Geelong's favour. It's only 1 point on the scoreboard, we know that. But I think at the setup of the game in the early stages, whatever Geelong have pre-planned is just working quite well.
Jim?
Yeah, it's going probably all on their terms at the moment. They even won the grand final sprint there at quarter time with young Clark taking out the honours there. But yeah, Cam Guthrie, for me, Lloydie, was absolutely super as well for the Cats. 7 touches, 5 clearances and a goal. And I just think they've got the game on their pace and on their tempo. So when they've wanted to go slow, they've tried to go around Richmond's defence and probably would have got it out if it wasn't a skill error twice. And I think they've got the setup. And Lee, you touched on it. They're happy to play deep in defence and just keep everyone in front of them where, you know, Richmond at the moment, they're just scrambling a little bit. Maybe they just need to build the ball up a little bit before they go quicker.
Just on the injury front, so we've got obviously Nick Voston out of the game. He's sitting down on the day. He looks quite well now, but he's in obviously his polo top. He's finished for the game, but looks happy, you know, talking to players. We've got Ablett, who's playing pretty much with one arm. He hurt his shoulder, but he cannot even really, he's grimacing every time he goes near it. And Brandon Parfitt is on the bench, highlighted in blue, with a thumb injury. So there's another big question mark on another cat there.
Let's start the second quarter for First National Real Estate. Geelong starts at a point in front.
Martin working his way into it in the last 7 or 8 minutes of that first quarter. Gets a soccer kick forward and wide. Well covered by Henry for the Cats. And the ball eventually is over the line for a throw-in up towards half forward for the Tigers, who kicked the first 2 goals of the match. But they've been countered by Geelong, and the Cats lead by a point. And the moral ascendancy with them at the moment, picked up by Blitzarves from the throw-in. Quick kick back to the centre line. Asprey tried to swipe it forward, didn't make clean contact. Ablett swooped, tackled, had to get rid of it, and his hand pass is wide to the boundary for a throw-in outside the 50 at left half forward, this time for the Cats.
Richmond 2-1-13, trailing Geelong 2-2-14. Minute gone. Second quarter. All thanks to First National Real Estate. They put you first, selling your home with agents right across Australia. Tossed in. Stanley the tap. Presti the handball into space. Well, trapped that time. Richmond. Graham up the wing he goes. Good kick to Castagna. Has the ball. Wants to move it on quickly. They're inside 50. Geelong with the extra spare. Getting back there. Stewart almost completed the mark. Gee, I thought it was high contact that time on the Geelong defender. Was that? It was indeed Henderson. Yeah. I thought there might have been a little one there. Let's have a look for Yarra Valley and Croydon Toyota if they can. Play continues. Toe poke Duncan. It's okay to half back. Myers involved. Duncan again. Good handball over the top. Little one moved on Dangerfield. Ablett about to be tackled. Got rid of it. Will he turn it over? No, support arrives. Hawkins working hard on the wing. Ball comes out. Asprey can't get it. Myers there. Ablett helping out. Ball still on the deck. Geelong come up with it. Dangerfield hurries a kick. The Cats go to half forward.
Rowan had a moment of opportunity, but he was swamped. Taken by Pickett. Hand pass to Prestia. Nowhere to go. Buried in a tackle and penalised for holding it. Too far out to score, but Gary Rowan getting a feel of the Sherrin in his hands about 60 metres from goal. As Geelong look to turn the screw after kicking the last couple of goals for the lead. Crowded 50. Rowan goes wide. Dangerfield being overplayed by Cochin. A free kick to the Geelong champion. Brownlow medalists both. And it is Dangerfield, bigger, taller, and offending there, or the offensive player. And it was Cochin who was offending with an arm chop.
Smart kick, really smart kick by Rowan. Identified the matchup on Cochin, but this is his weakness. 13-13 from set shots this year for Husqvarna. Hooked his last shot in the first quarter, missed by a long, long way.
This would be a big goal if he could kick it. From 45 out, starts near side, straightens, it's very close, and it is home for a goal. Geelong have kicked 3 on the trot, and they have Richmond on the hop at the moment, 3-2-20 to 2-1-13 on the First National Real Estate scoreboard. Jimmy Bartell.
Well, we touch on it at quarter time. Just all the tempo is at Geelong's pace at the moment. Even when Richmond went quick and Castagna took the mark on the wing, he wheeled and went long, but Stewart was first back. They got the outnumber they want. They're willing to set their defender back a little bit further. That's in these wet, slippery conditions. You can afford to play your spare defender a lot deeper, and when they've needed to go quick, they've forced Richmond to roll up, and as we mentioned, they just saw Dangerfield on Cochin and thought, well, at worst, he's not going to lose it, and drew the free kick. So very, very smart. If he didn't win it, it would have gone out of bounds and they would have got the throw in that they wanted anyway, but great finish from Danger.
Lee, it's a good one-on-one target to go to, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, when you got Dangerfield, who's good over his head, and Cochin's not so good, I mean, that's a good one-on-one contest inside 50, and Cochin just knew that he was going to be in trouble in the air and gave away the free.
Any concerns for the Tigers? The margin's 7 points Geelong's way. From your point of view, Lee?
I know Geelong are going well. I mean, they deserve the 7-point lead. Clearly, that's not a big margin, but Geelong are going well.
So it was Cochin with a toe poke out of the middle. Duncan, though, working brilliantly at the moment. Geelong by 7 points. Just keeps the eyes lowered. They're moving the ball on well. Taken there by Taylor. Ball goes to Simpson. Love the pass going forward. Oh, they mucked it up that time. Dalhouse got in the way. Ball comes to the front of the pack, half forward. Simpson, handball. Myers tackled. Nankervis quiet at the moment. Toe poke to half back. Short, the hopeful handball. Bolter bounces off his man. Picked up by Short. Handball away. Pickett through traffic to Bolter. Handball missed its target. Graham was that target. Close to the wing. Tui picks it up. Got it to Selwood, who I think's overcooked the kick. He has. It'll be out on the full. But Jim, a chance went begging. Geelong on the First National Real Estate scoreboard lead 20-13.
Yeah,
but I reckon they mucked the chance up then.
Yeah, I'm not sure why you'd even want Dalhouse to have it. He would have made the distance from there.
Free kick to Asprey. Kicks out beyond defensive 50 to midfield. Lynch has been well covered so far by Taylor. Duncan in everything. Gives to Myers. Quick kick forward. Brought down to ground by Grimes. Asprey, desperate kick off the ground. Into danger though. Parfitt, well tackled by Broad. Spillage with Tui for Geelong. Hand pass to Dangerfield. Quick centering kick. Touched off the boot. Nankervis thinks it's a mark. He's wrapped up and there'll have to be a ball up. 20 metres out from Geelong's goal.
Even with that last kick out of their back 50, Richmond, Geelong already had Blitzarves and Henry set up a good 25-30 metres off the ball.
So Nankervis tries to get a clearance. Eventually the Tigers do to Ward, halfback. Picked up by Lynch. Handball to Edwards. They trail by 7 points. Richmond needs someone in the middle. Bolton goes there. The bigger man. He's Blitzarves. Bolton, Blitzarves, this way, that way. Bolton stayed with him, though. Got a little handball running through McIntosh. Didn't take it cleanly. Toe poke to Ward, half forward. Richmond have got some numbers now. McIntosh, the handball into space. Prestia tries to shovel it to Martin. Tried to break a tackle. Did so. Handball closer to centre half back. Edwards from 55. Long going across the face of goal. Lynch a chance. Ball goes through. Now, did he push it into the behind post? As I think they may well have done that. Result of which is a boundary throw-in against the point post. Richmond deep into attack for First National Real Estate. Geelong by 7 points, 20-13. The Tigers with a good chance here.
Richmond needing a goal. Throw in. It's Prestia rushing the ball. Couldn't take it. Blitzarves does for Geelong and covers good territory with his left boot. That's perfect. It just kept bouncing away towards the boundary line. And there's nothing the umpire could do to punish him for that. There'll be a throw-in between wing and half forward for the Tigers, who are 7 points down and haven't scored for quite some time, while Geelong have kicked 3 goals.
Stanley may be on the wing. He certainly gets a decisive slap away that time. Dangerfield pushed into the path of Duncan. Ball out of bounds. On the Stanley Street wing, neutral territory. Geelong 3-2-20 over Richmond 2-1-13. We're 8 minutes, second quarter, tie power clock. But Geelong seemingly with all the answers at the moment, even though it's a tight game. Nankervis coming through Graham into the path that time of Prestia towards Lambert. Ball on the wing, one back by Geelong. Kolodjasny hurries a kick toward half forward. Pushed off the ball that time short. Chance for Dalhouse. Can he get there? Good effort. Asprey stopped him. Dalhouse got it to Hawkins. Handball to Parfitt. Thought he was grabbed high first originally, that time by Baker. Richmond win it back at halfback. Baker's kick to the wing. Geelong beautifully set up yet again, Matthew. And the mark's taken by Duncan on the wing.
Oh, well set up. You're spot on. They're under siege here. 6-2 inside 50s the Cats' way in this second quarter.
Duncan goes wide to the 50, and Parfitt nearly marked it. Pickett's doing pretty well at the moment, trying to lift Richmond, gets it onto his left foot. Lynch up in midfield, hasn't been able to snare a mark yet. Martin there to rove him, swings it with the left, didn't get the purchase on the kick though. Geelong's ball, Buse just dances for a moment, then feeds off by hand, and the Cats work it forward to Myers, who's got it between wing and half forward. Perfect weight on the kick. Dangerfield marks 49 metres out. He lets the umpire know exactly where it is, and he's going to go back and line them up.
Mitch Duncan, again, at the Gabba, he just keeps finding space. He's leading all possession getters with 14 touches already, thanks to Husfana.
And just the mark stat overall, Jim, 25 marks to the Cats, 6 to Richmond. Just shows they're getting the game on their terms, and Richmond are just scrapping, whereas Geelong are actually playing silky smooth footy and creating good scoring opportunities.
Replay showing that was most likely touched by Nathan Broad before Dangerfield marked it. His kick will go across the goal face. Nankervis there went the spoil. Falls to Bolter. Hand pass misdirected. Stolen by Parfitt, but taken over the boundary line for a throw in right forward pocket for Geelong, who lead 3-2-20 to Richmond 2-1-13. And we have had, what have we had, about 10 minutes in the second term.
7-point margin. Cats lead, and they're into a tackle. Nankervis took it from the ruck, ball close to the boundary line. Guthrie sees it out. But again, Lloydie, they get another opportunity to set up at the stoppage inside 50.
They do, and 8-2 inside 50s now. Pretty taxing, and they're beating them on the outside. Their run and spread is proving too much for Richmond.
7-point margin. First National Real Estate scoreboard, 20-13, the Cats' way. Hawkins does the ruck work. Short, a little clearance toward the wing. Barging through that time, then was Stewart. Kicks the Cats to full forward. Oh, chance that time. Dangerfield ran under the ball. Now, Richmond have got the numbers here. Pickett, handball to Broad. Knocked as he kicked it. Play on. This should be a goal to the Cats as Myers has incinerated, burnt, destroyed, and any other synonym you can think of from 25. Lee, one behind. 3-3-21, the Cats. Richmond 2-1-13. Lee Matthews, 3-8 football.
He kicks across his body, but he ended up marking the ball from that defensive kick. 45-degree angle, about 25 metres out, but he should have played on, but he just didn't quite hook it enough.
Richmond holding on by the skin of their teeth, and some inaccurate kicking. Oh, now a marking contest here. Lynch has shoved Taylor out. He's hit his head when he's gone down, and it's a free kick to Geelong. Taylor
He's
went
hit
down
another
awkwardly.
player, Tim. Taylor's hit the
Knee
legs.
or the boot.
Yeah.
It's a free kick and a short ball immediately to Menegola, who wheels onto his left, boundary side, centering kick in the Rowan direction, fisted away by Nankervis for Richmond. It finds its way to Lambert. Hand pass not clean. Tigers not clean at the moment. Oh, Nankervis at ground level probably got Guthrie around the neck. In fact, he definitely did, but it's not paid. And there will be a ball up at half forward for Geelong, doing all the attacking, leading by 8 points, but it could be significantly more.
I'll get an inside 50 from you in a moment, please, Lloydie, for Husqvarna. Geelong inside 50 from the stoppage they won. A Duncan's kick slewed off the boot. Went to Tui around the body. He goes and he misses. He misses. 3-4-22. Richmond 2-1-13. First National Real Estate scoreboard. Lloydie, we've got an inside 50 count.
11-2 for this second quarter. And remember last year's final, they just had the opportunities, Geelong, and they didn't put them away. I don't think Richmond are travelling as well this year, but you've got to put this Richmond team away because Dusty or one of those will take their chance.
Short kick into Asprey, who goes long towards the wing, off Revolt's fist to Bolton. He's dispensed with though. Now Rioli arrives, stolen by Henderson for Geelong. Tackled by Bolton and Rioli, taken over the line. And there will be a throw in after umpire Fleer separates the grappling wrestling players. It's Geelong's side of the wing. The Cats in control at the moment, leading by 9 points.
Ball on the wing. Stanley at the back got the fingertips coming through Simpson. Handball miss, went ricocheted back to Stanley. Geelong at half forward. Leading out that time, Dangerfield. Ball at the back, Bolter keeps it alive. Unconvincing, went to Dalhouse. Round the body to within 20 metres. Geelong into attack. Dangerfield came through, didn't take it. Broad under pressure, has to kick it away. Can he keep it alive out on the full? Geelong will get another chance. Inside 50. Dalhouse outside the field of play. Man on the mark at 48. 9-point margin to the Cats, 22-13. 7.5 minutes remain, Tim, on the tyre power clock.
Dalhouse goes top of the goal square. It'll land 10 metres out. The Richmond defence seizes upon it, fisting it through for a minor score. 3-5 to 2-1. Geelong by 10 points, and they are right on top of Richmond at the moment. Jimmy Bartell.
Yeah, you just can't see Richmond how they're going to restructure their forward line. Most of their forwards are up in their back 50, just hanging on and defending.
Short, long on the kick in. Buse too slow to release. Pickett free kick.
Brilliant. That is brilliant from Pickett. They need a reprieve here, Richmond. Their backs and Nankervis need a break. That tackle could be the start of something. I know it's not.
Handball is missed. Buse picks it up. And Buse cleverly didn't try to kick it too hard. He knew it'd be going out of bounds. But he wins about 15, 20 metres forward of the wing on the Stanley Street side.
Oh, he missed his hand.
He was going to kick it to two Richmond players, so he did this beautifully. He just kicked it so he could chase it, but he knew it was going out of bounds. Well done.
Ball between wing and half forward. 6:56 remains. Second quarter, the Cats by 10 points. Blitzarves knocks it down. Prestia at halfback to handball Pickett round the body to the wing. Geelong again numbers back of the football. Taylor. Handball, Stewart, he wants to spear one through. The Cats have got the numbers, middle of the ground. Myers is there, picked up by Simpson. Good handball. Oh, a slow one coming out that time then. I think it was from Blitzarves. They win it back, the Cats. Selwood, round the body he goes, close to half forward. Hooley against the boundary line, keeps it alive. Handball's good, won by Bolter at halfback, but he's given it straight back. And Selwood's got the footy forward of the wing. Cats by 10 points. First National Real Estate scoreboard. 23-13, and Selwood goes short.
To Myers, outside 50. He kicks quickly. He's got a man loose. It's Menegola. 35 out, directly in front, and Richmond's defence was in disarray. The Tigers in more trouble than they've been, I reckon, and more disarray than in any game other than that preliminary final against Collingwood in 2018.
Go for the EEs, Tim. The early explorers.
Speed Gordon, I think Merv Williams used to say.
Thank you.
Whoever he was, Menegola's kick is perfect. He's kicked the goal, and Geelong kind of needed that because they've spent a lot of time up there without kicking one. They lead by 16 points, and right now they're killing Richmond 4-5-29 to 2-1-13 on the First National Real Estate scoreboard.
Yeah, absolutely camped in their back line at the moment. Richmond, they got no run and carry. They can't find a release mark or even a stoppage at the moment. They just whack it forward, and this is the worrying thing for me, Lloydie. They're trying to get it forward to a contest. Cats have got the outnumber, but then once they're turning it over, the Cats are spreading so much harder off the turnover. So Richmond aren't even getting up and setting up the counter-attack from Geelong to defend that. So they're getting a quick exit from out of their back 50, Richmond, but then they're not getting up and defending in case they lose it again.
What is the most galling number for Richmond? Which is the one that Hardwick's looking at and just shaking his head on the Husqvarna stat sheet?
Well, clearances are even, but it's just 13-2 inside 50s. But Lee, I'll ask you, where does it start for Richmond here? Just getting it in their front 50 and just trying to create some chances?
Well, I know the clearances might be in, but I reckon that Duncan and Selwood and Guthrie in there have just been much better than the Richmond counterparts, and they are. When the defensive pressure of the Geelong forwards, that's been really important and really good.
Richmond really has to hang on here. Geelong by 16 points out of the middle again. Parfitt, handball, Guthrie just pushes the ball to half forward. Pickett has it, kicks it again in a hurry. Geelong have got two out there. Menegola's one of them. He's tackled by McIntosh. I don't think he can release the footy, as the umpire said.
But even then, good buddy, when Richmond get it out of their back 50, they're under so much pressure. The next one going forward is to a Geelong outnumber.
Stanley, Nankervis tries to flip it out back. Oh, Ablett, great play. Deft touch to Selwood. What a pass! Hawkins on the lead, has got it. 45 out, dead in front for the Cats.
Thank you, Gary. Another little highlight just to finish your career with a dodgy shoulder. Yeah. Grabs it in the left hand and then handballs it over his right shoulder with his right hand. No throw. Had the knuckles.
I wish we had a sponsor for Bit of the Day, because that was one of the best bits of the day. We'll make it for Prestige Hino trucks.
Yeah, why not?
But that was just a great bit. I don't know what other word you can use other than bit, but that's what it was. 16 is the lead for the Cats before the Hawkins kick. 45-degree angle, 45 out. Looks good. Will it hold its line? It got there. 22 the margin in favour of the Cats. And they're killing Richmond at the moment. 5-5-35, Geelong 2-1-13. Be calmed on that score is Richmond. For First National Real Estate. 4 minutes remains in the second quarter. Here is the great Lee Matthews on 3AW Football.
Well, simple principle. You can't score out of your back half, basically. I mean, the ball has been camped in Geelong's forward two-thirds. Richmond haven't had a look at it in there, deep in their forward 50. And just all of a sudden, the last 5 minutes, Geelong have got the 3 goals just to get them a couple more to get them clear. They've basically been having a lot of forward position, but not a whole lot of shots at goal. That Ablett, that was a beautiful deft touch to Selwood. But this has almost been the Selwood vintage Selwood. I thought he's been Selwood in his prime. I don't know whether he's been that good most of this year, but he's been injured a lot. But gee, I reckon he's been superb tonight.
Yeah, we're 19 minutes into the second quarter. The last goal for Richmond was 21 minutes into the first quarter, so that just shows how long it's been. They have not even looked like scoring.
No, it's a full quarter of football, and that's exactly right. Have not looked like troubling the scorer. Good bounce from umpire Meredith. Stanley climbs high and with confidence, covering the ball. Graham for Richmond was thrown off it, picked up by Stanley, lost it. Eventually, the Cats get their hands on it, but can't take it away, and the umpire's going to have to come in and ball it up again.
The big advantage.
You notice also, I was going to say, Jimmy, at the centre, at most of the stoppages, either Guthrie or Selwood is making sure they're getting body on Martin. So Martin's not able to break away from the clearances either.
Bolter in ruck for Richmond. Lambert might have taken one high. No free kick. And the ball socked clear to the advantage of neither team in particular. But now Menegola arrives. Hand pass smothered. Picked up by Short for Richmond. Gives it to Martin. Hand pass didn't reach a target. Cats look to have it covered. Now Edwards arrives for Richmond. Little soccer kick to no one. It's picked up by Lambert. Quick kick forward. Straight to Stewart, where all the haphazard short kicks seem to go. He takes yet another mark and clears.
And waits it beautifully. Guthrie, who's been tremendous, couldn't quite take the mark. Short on the wing, just tumbles it going forward. Luck's a fortune. And the Tigers have it. Bolton. It'll take a good kick, though. They trail by 22 points, Richmond. 3 minutes remains. Type power clock, second quarter. And a rare error coming out of defence. Guthrie probably should have got the grab. And now Bolton, who will kick from nearly 50 metres, 45-degree angle. Imperative he gets the 6 points for the Tigers to keep them in touching distance. Little stuttering run up, got it close to the man on the mark, and I reckon he's pushed it right, one behind. 2-2-14 Richmond, First National Real Estate scoreboard. Geelong 5-5-35. 21-point lead, Jim, in favour of the Cats quickly before Tim takes over.
Yeah, the advantage the Cats got now is they haven't had to break glass and get Dangerfield out of the forward line while they've been dominating.
Henderson long ball into play. Bolter over Ablett takes a comfortable mark from behind, and a lapse by the Cats there. Not a big man to contest. Bolter places it very awkwardly into the forward pocket. McIntosh was sneaking forward, but it really wasn't a good option, and it's easily fisted away from him to the boundary. But it is within a kick of Richmond's goal, about 40 to 45 metres around on the right flank.
So 21 points is the deficit, the Tigers. 2 minutes remains to half-time. Can they do something from here? Bolton won the stoppage, kicks to full forward. Pickett makes a sprawl. Rioli quiet, slips at the vital moment. Ball's turned over, or he put it on the deck, one of the two.
Stewart's been absolutely super.
Connor was about to break. Lee, fundamentally...
Stewart's about the best loose man in defence in the league. And Richmond are sort of allowing him to play loose man defence. Bolter's been released a little bit, I reckon, to try and be up the other end in the other back 50, but Stewart's just playing it beautifully.
Yeah, Bolter's been moved into the ruck tone, so Nank's probably just having a break, but maybe they should stick with it, because Nank was struggling in the ruck a little bit. Give Bolter and his versatility and energy around the ball might be something that they can give to them.
Geelong 35, Richmond 14, minute 49 remains. Ball between wing and half forward. Tigers into attack. Toe poke, Bolter, Edwards, neat handball to Bolter, who followed up to the pocket. He goes, chance for Lynch. I reckon he dropped it as umpire Harry Taylor just tells the other... Oh, here's our man again. That's the... Ball just keeps following him around.
Is that on the full?
No, it's not on the full.
So if it hits below your knee and then goes over on the full?
No, he handed it over. Out of the pack that time then. No, it's going to be cleared that time as Henry kicks it out. Well, that's out on the full, Jim, because he's kicked it over the fence into a group of supporters about 10 rows back.
So the last one hit his foot and went over on the full too?
It hit his hand.
Hit his shin, I reckon.
Yeah, which is still on the full.
I think the horse has bolted. Long ball towards full forward. Lynch with the field against him. Spilling ball to Martin, who swings it across his body for the goal that Richmond so desperately needed. And they're back within 15 points. A goal of the day, thanks to Dan Murphy's. And with a minute and a quarter left in the half, that has given Richmond some oxygen. 5-5-35 to 3-2-20. The other thing I've noticed, Lloydie, is that Noah Bolter going onto the ball just looks as though he might offer something for Richmond.
Yeah, and it may have just been that they wanted to give Nank a break, but after looking at it, Tim, as we spoke about only moments earlier, he's got a bit more energy in him. I think Nank was just spent because he's in loose man in defence or trying to help his defence the whole time. This is bold coaching. He's gone, Dusty, stay forward. Lambert forward. So they've got all their big guns forwards, Revolt and Lynch. Now it's just on the midfield to try and get it in there again, Jim, and see if they can scrounge another one. And Hardwick could go in and go, we can't play much worse. And we're only 9 points down, so it's a big minute left in this half.
Yeah, Colin Jasny couldn't have done too much more there, and sometimes just pure talent wins out, and that was Dusty, just pure brilliance.
Yep, a goal worthy of a grand final for sure. They trail by 15 points, Richmond, minute to half time. Little toe poke that time, Edwards goes toward the wing, McIntosh. Goes hard, ball bounce favours him, bounced up nicely, kicks Richmond to the forward pocket. Ball goes out of bounds, Taylor knocks it out of bounds. But at least now, Jim, Richmond can set up with a minute to go. Stoppage taking place 35 around from their goal.
Harry Taylor's just so good at that, just knocking your arms at the right time, shifting your body underneath the footy. You never feel stable in a marking contest with him.
What a bonus if Richmond could kick one here and go in 9 points down. Stanley and Lynch. Lynch shunted him from behind. Stanley down to Blitzharv's tackle. Gone. He was indecisive. He just did not know where to go. And it is a free kick to Martin. And the dual Norm Smith medalist might kick the two most important goals of his career here as he's lining them up from within range in the right forward pocket. He got a little bit of knuckle onto that ball, I reckon, to knock it out of Blitzharv's grasp, and the umpires are totally unsympathetic when that happens. Martin lining them up. He's going to try and bend it back. Oh, he's miscued it. A horror. Lands 25 out in front of goal. No one can mark. Taken by Tui. Gave to Stewart. Sweeps it clear by hand. Out near the boundary line, and inevitably it's over for a throw in and clear of immediate danger. A kick and a half from Richmond's goal front.
So 11 seconds remains to half time. It's been Geelong's half. And maybe when the boys reflect on the first half, the 15 points doesn't really show how good Geelong has been. 7 seconds remain. Out of the pack, Cochin inside 50. Lambert's got to grab it, break a tackle. Handball goes to Edwards. Chance for Pressia. No, just too much on the handball. And the ball just bounces harmlessly, only 15 out from Richmond's goal. But Geelong, easily the better in the first half, has a 15-point margin at half-time. 5-5-35 to 3-2-20. All singles, Duncan, Hawkins, Menegola, Guthrie, Dangerfield, and Prestia, McIntosh, and a brilliant goal by Martin, as Tim Lane so eloquently putting it, giving Richmond some oxygen as we close in on half-time, and the half-time wrap coming up for Sheen Panel Service. Three great football brains, Lee Matthews, Jimmy Bartell and Matthew Lloyd, will sum up the first half of football. But at half-time here, Geelong heading for the 10th flag, 5-5-35 by 15 points. Tough going, the conditions, by 15 points over Richmond, 3-2-20. Right across Australia. All thanks to McDonald's. You were listening to 3AW Football. 3AW Football, all thanks to McDonald's. Half-time all but done. 5-5-35 Geelong, 3-2-20 Richmond. And we were speaking about goals of the day, and as Tim Lane correctly pointed out, the Dustin Martin snap, all thanks, one of the goals of the day, thanks to Dan Murphy's, was equal, if not better, than Duncan's very cool tight angle shot. So it's a 15-point game. Just to let everyone know that tomorrow night there'll be no going around the grounds for home safe wealth release, because the Melbourne Storm, you will hear it here on 3AW, up against Penrith in what looms as Cameron Smith's final game, game 430, I think it is, for the Storm. That is tomorrow night. That is 24 hours away. Well under Shepherd at half-time. Great entertainment. We'll mar the pre-game along with the DMAs. 15 points is the margin. We're only a few minutes away from the recommencement. Lee, what's going through your mind at the moment about how Richmond gets back into the game?
Well, the question is, I mean, Geelong have been the better team, but there's still a similar amount of inside 50s. I mean, if I was Richmond, how can we generate a few marks in our inside 50 to get shots at goal? I mean, the Martin had one that was a free kick, but they just don't look like generating chances from their flow forward. That's the thing that Stewart is preventing. The upfield pressure is good, so they've got to work out. That's the main thing Damien Hove would be thinking. How can we generate a few inside 50 marks to give us shots at goal? Clearly, it always starts around the middle to actually get the ball into that part of the ground, but they haven't been going inside 50 with any efficiency at all.
Just looking at the interchange benches, Noah Bolter is starting on the bench. So I just wonder, he's going to try something different here, because you think Bolter would just be on Tom Hawkins, but we think he's going to be relieving maybe Nankervis and playing a different role, potentially in this second half.
Jim?
Yeah, it's up to Richmond just winning the ball around the contest a bit more. Like I said, they've got to have a bit of trust in their back line. They can't all just keep coming back and helping out to goal keep, because Geelong will play that slow territory game really well.
Asprey has got the job on Tommy Hawkins.
So let's start the third quarter, Tim. All thanks to Robot Building Supplies, as Dangerfield goes very, very deep to full forward.
Right in the goal square.
And Martin's deep forward too. I think that's the other thing. I mean, they've got to start getting the scoreboard going, so they might have to sacrifice him around the middle, where he hasn't been doing that well anyway, and get him where you're the most dangerous if you can get ball in hands within shot of goal.
Ablett on the bench for Geelong as the second half is about to get underway. Geelong by 15 points. Saw the coaches doing halftime interviews. Chris Scott looked very relaxed. Damien Hardwick, I must say, looked quite wound up. And I felt even at the national anthem at the start, Geelong looked the more relaxed team. There was a sense of composure about them and just a little bit of agitation I suspected about Richmond. Anyway, that's all in the past. We have 2 quarters of football left to determine this year's champion. And Geelong lead by 15 points as umpire Stevic bounces the ball to start the second half. Nankervis climbs and gets the tap. Prestia soccers it towards the 50 and then arrives and soccers it again. A little nudge, which he tries to collect. O'Connor steals it though for Geelong. Whisked away by Rioli. Sweeps a hand pass to Graham. Has to go away from goal. Good defence by Geelong. Edwards has got it. Hand pass further away from goal, untidy. Graham collects. Richmond hold up under extreme pressure and now set up Martin from 65 out. Long to within 20 of goal and a free kick to Revolt. I thought he might have thrown Henderson out, but it's gone Revolt's way.
But you see what happens when you win stoppages and you can get the ball into one-on-ones. I'm happy with that. He's pinning an arm back, wrapping all around him, Lee. So get it in deep, one-on-one, and look at how they panic. Look how they panic, and Henderson for the first time has been under pressure in this game.
It's always the second one though, isn't it, Tim? Because Rewalt did pull Henderson back, but Henderson then threw the arms around him.
Non-existent in the first half. Revolt comes in and kicks the goal. Without ado, just puts it right through, and suddenly Richmond are within 9 points. Thank goodness I'm not coaching them. I dragged Jack at half-time. 5-5-35 to 4-2-26 on the Robot Building Supplies scoreboard.
Yeah, and Lloydie touched on it. It's just gaining a bit of territory and winning some contests. And sometimes you can do all the X's and O's, can't you, Lloydie? But it just comes down to the players just willing themselves to win a few more contests. They did that. Repeat outnumbered. the depth of Dustin Martin's kicking there, taking it from 70 out to the top of the goal square. That's what puts defenders under a lot of pressure, the nervousness. He pushed back hard. He actually pulled Henderson by the jumper back, but the umpire saw the second one where Henderson was left sprawling, trying to wrap his arms around and tie him up.
So 2 minutes gone, third quarter tyre power clock. Consecutive goals to the Tigers before and after the half-time break. And what was 21 points is now back to 9. It's 5-5-35 for Robot Building Supplies Geelong, Richmond 4-2-26. Nankervis and Stanley go at it in the ruck. Stanley, good tap, high contact, Selwood.
How many games has he been playing? If you don't know not to get low.
Yep. So, quick handball. Guthrie was in front of him. He had to turn, kick it in a hurry, turn it straight over to Baker. Prestia, McIntosh. The short pass is on, the lead's there. Martin's got it. That's 65 out. Who's on top of the square? Pulls a bit off the ball, squares it up. It should be a free kick, Richmond. And Graham was pulled to the ground, high contact from 48 metres. Man on the mark, at least Lloydie, 48 metres. And as we have a look for Yarra Valley and Croydon Toyota, you can't argue with that one.
And Lee, you touched on Nankervis. What about that chase just then on Guthrie?
Yeah.
To create a turnover.
Fantastic turnover, wasn't it? They created that turnover front of the centre square, and then on the way back, Geelong were completely out of position.
So it's a tough shot, every bit of 50 metres. Oh, he flat punts at top of the square. Should be an easy Geelong mark, and it is. The mark taken by Stewart in defence. 5-5 to 4-2. 9-point margin, Geelong's way. Tim, we've been going 3.5 minutes in the third quarter, all thanks to Robot Building Supplies.
Tigers have had the last 11 entries to the 50. Extraordinary turnaround. Kick clear Menegola to Kolodjasny, who's turned it over. A short ball straight to Lambert. He dabs it to Baker, sneaking forward with a left foot. He's hit a target. It is Castagna, about 45 metres from goal. Just off directly in front. They've been kicking goals comfortably from 50 tonight, so this is very kickable.
Lloydie, he kicked 5 behinds in the last grand final. Can get the yips. Will the little man be on his shoulder?
He just doesn't seem to get much penetration with his set shots, but he's a fair way out, so he has to kick through this one. It's probably a good range for him.
Man on the mark, 45 or 6 out. Castagna from right on the 50. It is okay. It's just made it. It's a goal, and the Tigers are suddenly within 3 points. 5-5-35 Geelong, 5-2-32 Richmond on the Robot Building Supply scoreboard. He didn't make clean contact, but he managed to find the way home with the kick.
No, he was probably thinking last year he was a bit stiff 5 behinds. He got one going in his favour with the footy gods, but Tom Lynch was reminding Reece Stanley, going, as a ruckman, you should probably be on the goal line here. This has gone through about pad high, hasn't it, Lee?
It is. It took a real left-hand turn. It looked like it was going to drop short, but when it sort of just basically curved, and the Kolodjasny kick inside that was turned over, geez, you're in trouble as soon as that happened. And then Lambert got it over, and then Castagna eventually got the goal. But even the set shot at goal, it just looked like it wasn't going to make the difference, and it was doing that left-hand turn, but somehow or other it curved away from the players on the goal line.
You can feel the energy though, can't you? We saw it in last year's prelim. I thought they were gone at half-time, Richmond last year, but we've only been playing 2 minutes, but they're up and about, they're surging, the midfielders playing with more energy, and it's creating so much for their forward line.
It was 21 points, it's now 3 points Geelong's lead. No clearance from the restart. Back of the pack, Edwards, he's going to toe poke it. Kick it across the deck towards the wing. Stewart first to react for the Cats. Around the body, the kick, it's missed. McIntosh had it, somehow released the ball. To the wing it goes. Knocked forward by Prestia, still on the wing too. He picked it up, handball Selwood. Got the ball then to Simpson. I thought it was high on Dalhouse. Richmond win it back at half-back. Bolton to Graham, they've got the run. Hurley took some heat. Got it back to Edwards. Tumbler to half forward. Oh, a chance that time then for Lambert. Martin toe pokes. Under pressure. Kolodjasny's run straight out of bounds. There's the umpire. Just decides Let's toss it in.
Hey, Edwards, he's a game changer, Shane Edwards, and he's gone in the midfield to allow Dusty to stay forward. He's had Graham's 4 touches, Edwards 3.
Lynch, quick kick from the stoppage, but O'Connor the only man back. Hand pass to Henry, a fumble. Almost inexplicable. I say almost because it's a grand final and because the pressure is growing now on the Geelong defence. A lead of 15 at half-time. It was 21 shortly before half-time. And all of a sudden, it has disintegrated and it's just 3. Lynch rucks against blitz halves. The Geelong man got the tap down to Simpson. He's immediately put in a steely tackle, taken down, and there will be a ball up in front of Richmond's goal.
No silly free kicks you want here for Richmond. You want to maintain the pressure here on the Cats.
Lynch from the ruck. Couldn't get it. Selwood, head over the ball, tackled, release. Duncan, quick kick, half back to the wing. First to react that time then was McIntosh. Geelong win it back. Hawkins, middle of the ground to Ablett. Handball over the top. Dalhouse, inboard. Myers, 45 out. Dead in front. Goal to the Cats. There's the reply from Geelong. 6-5-41. As Myers has his first goal. Richmond 5-2-32 for Robot Building Supplies. Robot's got it and delivered. What a start to the third quarter, going 8 minutes. Goals galore. Lee Matthews on 3W Football.
Was a nice chain of handballs off the back of the centre square there at Geelong, but that's when you start to try and link up, the Richmond pressure's going to be good. You're running into their defence, but you've got to be really clean with your hands, really good with your handball. But that quick kick forward, as soon as they got the ball, they ran in numbers, but more importantly, they knew where each other were. They gave it to the player who had the least amount of pressure, and Myers was the one who kicked the goal. They needed that because they'd looked really, really shaky in the previous few minutes. Geelong turnovers, and all of a sudden the Richmond pressure was starting to make them fall apart. But that was a good answering goal.
Just watching Hooley in the warm-up. Hooley in the warm-up was having his Achilles calf rubbed, and he just has not looked himself tonight. Basher Hooley, just 6 disposals, and didn't chase too well then.
Well, 2 words for you, Tone. The first game and the second is on. From the ball up, it bobbles around and Bolter comes away with it, gives to Martin. Left foot steer into the 50. It comes off hands to Castagna. He has another go. That was ambitious. He was running into a wall and he had to hook it too far to beat the smother, and it's through for a behind. The margin 8 points Geelong's way.
I'm I'm not in disagreement with you, Tim. So Guthrie brings it out and goes super short. Mark taken by Kolajasny. Just a little bit jittery at the moment, Kolajasny. Kick almost to the wing. Plenty of distance there. Ball carries the pack. I would have thought it's a Geelong free kick. And there was, as Bolter is alleged, I sound like he's going to the magistrate's course. It was deemed to push him under the ball, and the free kick goes to the Cats on the wing, where Duncan has the ball. 8-point margin to Geelong. Robot Building Supplies scoreboard 41-33. And Tim, just a bit of slow play. 9 into the third quarter as Duncan passed the ball to Guthrie.
Couple of good men to be in control of proceedings. Guthrie high towards the 50, where Hawkins got hands on it, couldn't hold the mark. Dalhouse taken high by Hooley. Free kick to Luke Dalhouse. Outside 50, right flank. Won't go for goal from there. Put it top of the goal square from a similar spot in the first quarter. That's where he's gone again. Big pack. Asprey brought it down straight to Stanley. Standing start for Geelong. Missed. Minor score. 9-point lead. 6-6 to 5-3. Geelong in front on the Robot Building Supplies scoreboard.
Short to bring it back in. 9 points the margin. Almost like a 45-metre laser. The McIntosh outside the defensive 50. Along the Stanley Street wing was excellent, but good effort that time then from Henderson as almost away Lambert. The kick was excellent, Jim, but a good defensive effort means the ball goes out of bounds in Richmond's slightly attacking half.
Yeah, you feel like Richmond have to do nearly everything right. Little fundamentals, just work their way down the ground. Can't afford to do that.
Bolter rucking, got rid of Stanley, but then dropped the ball as it hit him on the chest. Martin in everything now for Richmond. Gave it to Prestia. He gives to Short, advancing. Kicks it beautifully onto the chest of Castagna, but well done O'Connor. Got a hand in there, then lost it. Castagna had it again, was tackled, and it's taken away by Buse, whose kick is marked for Richmond by Bolton. Menegola protesting. Bolton short passes, and Lambert just picks up the sprawling mark about 25 out on a 45-degree angle.
I've loved the moves from Damien Hardwick. So he's gone, Bolter, you'll be our second ruckman. Asprey, you'll take Tom Hawkins, and then Curvis, you'll go deep into the forward line. So he's kept all the defenders honest, and the midfielders lifted. So suddenly there's no Tom Stewart, Henderson, Taylor laying off. It's Richmond players who are getting opportunities.
Kane Lambert, those two crucial goals in the last quarter last week against Port Adelaide. Comes in, and he's got another one. He's got another one, and the Tigers are again within 3 points. 6-6 to 6-3. We have a great abbreviated version, yes, but a great grand final on our hands. How is it up there at the Gabba, Lee Matthews?
Well, I would have thought everyone knows there's a game on. You only have to be know anything about the game, and I think all the people here tonight are AFL fans. Don't worry about that, Tim. No theatre goers in the 30,000 crowd. So, yeah, all of a sudden Geelong got the jitters a little bit, and Richmond have now got a few opportunities. So, well, we love a contest. More than anything, we want a contest, and we've got it tonight.
Great contest win again. Shea Bolton, who intercepted that mark. Hughes, who tried to chip it down the line, but Lloydie, I think with speed on the game suits Richmond, and that's what we're talking about at half-time. Speed allows their forwards to stay back, at least put the Geelong defence under pressure, actually having to defend their back 50 and not up towards the middle of the ground.
Inside 50s for Husqvarna this quarter, 7-2 in favour of the Tigers. Clearances 5-2. So they're winning all the key stats at the moment.
You won't see that being practiced at Richmond training, that one. You kick it, dive, hope for the best. See what happens. 3-point game. Robot Building Supplies, Geelong leads. Nankervis the tap. Duncan, great work in the middle. To Blitzarves, to Guthrie. Tumbler goes forward inside 50. Chance for Myers. Chance this time for Dalhouse. Handball back to Blitzarves. Holding the footy. Richmond free.
Oh, he's lifted. Oh, it's Jaden Short. I thought it was Kane Lambert again, but Short's also finding plenty of the footy.
They've caught Blitzarves a couple of times tonight, which is a hard thing to do, the big fella. He gets his arms up and it's hard to tackle.
So Short, one thing can guarantee, it'll be every bit of 45 metres. Long kick. Ball there, Tui quiet tonight, has to handball under pressure. Knocked forward by Graham to half forward. O'Connor there, handball to the boundary line where Duncan. Now there was a great bit of play that time. Jim, it's not going to show up in the stat, but Marlon Piggott can take a tiny little bow.
Yeah, it might show up as a tackle coming forward, but that's been the difference. Lloydie, you and I looked at each other. Richmond are coming forward hard in defence.
So, ball at half forward, Richmond into attack, but they trail by 3 points.
And Curvis brought it down. Selwood stole it, was tackled, couldn't dispose. It comes to Tui. A high up and under from the Irishman. Won't reach the wing. Call of play on taken by Rowan for Geelong. His hand pass is smothered. And it's a different Richmond now. It's this irresistible Richmond. The ball will be thrown in just their side of the Stanley Street wing.
Lloydie, we saw danger on the bench. Is it break last time? Put him in the midfield for a bit.
It has to be. He hasn't touched the ball this quarter.
Nankervis from the ruck. Tried to rove. Well done that time, Edwards. Brilliant. Got it to Bolton. Toe poke off the deck. It goes out on the full. But I suppose if you want to look at the positive, one about 35 metres. Free kick to Henderson for Geelong. Outside defensive 50. 6-6 the Cats. 6-3 the Tigers. Robot Building Supply scoreboard. Third quarter going. Around 14-15 minutes. Evening Wolsey. Ball goes to the wing. Pickett had it. Ball goes out of bounds. No, I thought it went out of bounds. Now have a look for the boundary umpire, Jim, that's got the short dark hair. See if the ball keeps following him around. Because Geelong was all set to break. There he is. He's got it again.
You like him, don't you?
Just the ball keeps following you. 3-point lead to the Cats. Ball on the wing. 16 into the third quarter.
Ball forced forward by Prestia once, twice. Collected though by Buse for Geelong. Gave to Tui. Kicks under pressure. Parfitt can't get there to mark. Hooley ran into a tackle. Spillage taken for Richmond by Short. A high bomb into half forward. Bounces on its end. Sits up. Martin's got it off the outside of his boot. Running towards goal. And it's gone through. It bounced one way. It went the other. And the hero of 2 grand finals might be the hero of a third. He has lifted the Tigers heroically from halfway through the second quarter, and they're now in front 7-3-45 to 6-6-42. A Dan Murphy's goal of the day, and I'll tell you, Tone, I'm going to need to drop off at Dan's on the way home.
I tell you what they ought to do. They ought to let him loose in any Dan Murphy's for about 10 minutes after that goal. Lee, how good was that? And I'm going to use the football expression I loathe. In the context of the game, what a great effort by Martin.
Well, the couple of specials, aren't they? The goal that he kicked in the second quarter was a special. One of those ones that not too many players are going to be able to. It was the body strength that got him clear. And then that one was just the ball control, to be able to put it on the outside of the right foot, bounce it through. But a couple of goals in a low-scoring game is beautiful for him. He's back in the... no, he's not back. He's still forward. It's a bit interesting what you do with him. But if you've got Martin in the forward line, it makes it much harder to actually be having that sort of control in the back 50 that Geelong had in the first half.
As good as any goal he's kicked in his illustrious career gives Richmond the lead. Middle of the ground, play rolls on Geelong. Good touch out of the middle. Selwood picked it up. I thought he drew the high contact. Ball should come back. And Selwood to get a free kick 45 out. Or not, maybe not even as far as that. Let's have a look for Yarra Valley and Croydon Toyota.
I think the umpire said on the 50, Tone, and it's about 49 out,
That was the first contact,
He won't make the distance, will he, Jim, from 50?
He's actually he's a better set shot. Like he gets good momentum through it.
So Selwood now. We've had
captain's goal, Tone. Captain's goal.
Well, Lee, after the goal from Martin, for him running under pressure, eye on the ball, drawing a free kick, it deserves a goal and to give Geelong back the lead. 6 minutes remains to three-quarter time. Geelong trail by 3 points. He's pushed it right. Not sure it's going to get it. Rowan flew top of the pack. Broad knocks to the boundary line. Graham had it kicked under pressure. Richmond defence under awful pressure. Guthrie, Ablett, Simpson. Kick was charged down. Outside attacking 50. O'Connor round the body. I reckon he's popped it out on the full.
Different Richmond side out there.
And it's a free kick. Lloydie in the sort of back pocket halfback. Reckon it's Baker to take it for the Tigers.
I'm surprised again. Dangerfield's gone to the forward line. Has not touched the footy. Get him into the midfield. Give them a lift.
Long ball clears the 50. No one can mark. Selwood again in the traffic. Almost found a way out. His kick, though, was smothered. Picked up by Bolton for Richmond. Quick kick to midfield. Rioli nearly marked it. He'll fight on at ground level. Geelong's ball. Kolajasny. Hand pass to Blitzarves. Saw a way through. Gave to Parfitt. Blocked. Works his way into the clear. Kick towards full forward. Nankervis up with a frantic double-fisted spoil. Spillage to Broad. Run into a tackle. Taken down. Ball in dispute. Holding the ball.
Can't be holding the ball. No. He's been drawn into that one.
His momentum just took him into the tackle.
How's he going to get rid of this? He's not even...
Now, play on. Guthrie's got it. He gives it everything he's got, but he's offline, minus score. Tigers lead by 2 points. Still nearly 5 minutes left in this quarter. Richmond 45, Geelong 43 for Robot Building Supplies.
So, short on the kick into Hooley. Quiet tonight. Boys don't believe he's 100%. Lays back, kicks it. Back of the pack. Chance there for Taylor. Ball was scooped out. Henderson just threw the ball out. Play on should be the call. Now, over the footy that time then was Castagna. Rowan came through. Little toe poke wins 15, 20 metres for the Cats. Myers over the footy. Hooley not letting him out. And the umpires is going to come in. Half forward, probably about 55 out, close to the boundary line. Cats are into attack. We'll get a stoppage for Robot Building Supplies. Richmond by 2 points. Nankervis got the clean tap that time, Lee. Ball goes out of bounds. Still about, Lee, I'd say 60 around, half forward, Geelong into attack.
Yeah, no, they take to take every chance, Geelong. They're just the tempo of the whole game. Richmond have lifted it up. They're tackling pressure. All of a sudden, they got all the momentum right now.
Stanley and Nankervis. Nankervis wins again. He's uncanny. Down to Bolton. Swinging kick along the boundary up towards half forward. Stewart got front posse, couldn't mark. Well done, Edwards in the traffic. Flicked a hand pass out. Didn't come clear. Lynch has got it now. High ball. Rioli with the flight, but also Henry with the flight. Taking a fine mark for Geelong in defence at defensive 50.
Prestige Hino, mark of the night then to Henry, who took it at half-back, kicks the ball toward the wing. Richmond by 2 points. Oh, what a ripper leap! High, straight, beautiful. Guthrie has it. Another one for Prestige Hino. Wants to play on quickly and sort of almost a bit deflated. He went really, really short rather than go long, long, long. And the Cats have the footy at the moment, as it looked like Selwood out there. A spearing one to half forward it goes. Prestia stays down, tried a little toe poke. Selwood through traffic, handball to Ablett against the boundary line. Going to try and thread a pass. What brilliant, exquisite, glorious, magnificent play from Gary Jr. Finds Hawkins against the boundary line. Bring it round his body. Are the Cats in front? No, they're not.
He rushes them. He's done it again. He just can take more time, Lee. We've spoken about it a while, haven't we?
Yeah, the kick across the body's fine, but you don't have to rush yourself, do you?
1 point in it. 3 minutes left in the third term. Tigers bring it out to the 50 and broad. High ball with the left towards the wing. Revolt Brave couldn't mark. It's with Henry for Geelong. Quick kick into the 50. No one able to mark it. Dangerfield spelling danger here. It just wouldn't sit for him. Dalhouse over the ball. He's locked up, and there will be a ball up just outside Geelong's 50. Dangerfield looking a little distressed there, I thought.
He looks like he's playing really desperate, but without control, Tim, I reckon.
Richmond by a point.
Bit like trying too hard.
Richmond by a point, Geelong at half forward. They win the stoppage, the Cats. Stanley afloated to within 30 metres of goal. Grimes knocked it down. Simpson took it. Handball into space. Dalhouse knocks to Ablett. He's tackled. Had it. Lost it. Richmond clear. Prestia under pressure. As far away as he can go. He fell awkwardly yet again.
Umpire.
Gary Jr.
Shoulder gone.
He's paid to
Shoulder gone again, I think. Yeah.
He's paid to live.
Oh, dear.
So free kick to the Cats.
These are meant to be the best in it.
Yeah.
They've injected themselves into the game in the last 10 minutes.
45-44, Ablett in distress. Richmond by a point for Robot Building Supplies. Geelong free kick for failing to keep the ball inside the field of play, and the Cats go to forward pocket.
It'll land 20 from goal. It spills for Dalhouse. Little soccer kick. Glanced off the side of the boot, and it's now out of bounds. Pickett might well have seen it through, but he felt he needed to keep it alive, and then was taken over, and there'll be a throw in next to Geelong's right behind post as the Cats press to reclaim the lead.
Watch out for Tom Hawkins, just pushing his man under the ruck here.
So Cats deep into attack, 2 minutes to three-quarter time. Nankervis there, neither ruckman got onto it. Asprey knocked at the Prestia. He knocks to the boundary line. Richmond want it and get it. So they've moved away from goal, the Tigers, to the point where it's at about between half forward, still about 40 around from the Geelong goal. They trail by a point, the Cats, led by 21 in a low-scoring game, nearly at half-time. Bit of Dustin Martin brilliance has got the Tigers back in front. Can Geelong claw back? Ground level win. Dangerfield, handball outside attacking 50. Buse, high floating kick. Looks to be going out of bounds. Free kick back pocket to the Tigers.
Chris Cott has to be asking himself, I'm afraid, is Gary Ablett with a really bunged shoulder at 36? Should he be on the field? He really looks like he's debilitated with his movement.
Just over a minute and a half left in the third term. Tigers by a point. Clearing ball out of their defence, marked by Menegola for Geelong. Steers it to Duncan in the corridor. Kicks to within 20 of goal. No one can mark. Nankervis brought it down, then collected it, gave to Castagna, but Dalhouse, with bulldog tenacity, makes the smother, forces it over the boundary line in Geelong's left forward pocket. Still 79 seconds left before three-quarter time.
So tossed in, can the Cats get one here? No, Richmond are going to win the stop. It's Bolton's kick. It's in the middle of the ground. Who've got the numbers? Oh, Martin grabbed it. Brilliantly kicks quickly. Now, the only man back there this time is Blitzars. He can't grab it. It's bobbing along the deck. Oh, Rioli tackles him. Handball under pressure. Oh, Henry lost it. Chance that time then for the Tigers. Lambert. Goal should be coming up to Edwards. No! No. He missed right with 50 seconds remaining. 7-4-46 to the Cats, 6-8-44. Robot Building Supply scoreboard, Tim, as Henderson goes long on the kick in Richmond by 2 points late in the third quarter.
Edwards normally so reliable when near goal. Lovely mark taken here by Gary Rowan for Geelong from a long kick in. Under 40 seconds left. Well, Richmond nearly got one in a flash. Could Geelong do likewise? Oh, not with that. A shocking kick by Rowan. Missed Menegola. It's out to the boundary for a throw-in. As we see a television shot of Chris Scott leaving his box, I think feeling less than gruntled with that kick out of defence, and that just might let Richmond in.
Ball's on the wing. Richmond by 2 points. Half a minute remains third quarter. Martin edged under the ball. Dustin found a way to get back. Good tackle on Simpson. Handball and turned over. Bolton again. Inside attacking 50. Can the Tigers get one here? Ball spills front of the pack. Jack's got to go hard. He does. Broke a tackle. Ball skewed off the boot. Half-back win to the Cats as Parfitt received at that time from Rowan. Beyond the centre they go. Richmond have the numbers. Hawkins trying to neutralise it. Grimes the slap into open traffic at half-back. Taken by Baker. Then to Hooley. Three-quarter time, and Richmond have come not quite from the dead, but near enough to hold a 2 point margin at three-quarter time. 7-4-46 Richmond to Geelong 6-8-44. Third quarter brought to you by Robot Building Supplies. Robots got it and they deliver. 2 goals from Dustin Martin, and it was just one before half-time that was brilliant, and the one after half-time was better. And he is the only multiple goal scorer on the ground. Lee Matthews, Matthew Lloyd, Jimmy Bartell to sum up what has been a magnificent struggle, and there's still a quarter of it to go. And Richmond will take the narrowest of leads into the final quarter. 7-4-46 to the Geelong, 6-8-44 across Australia. Thanks to McDonald's. Get free small fries and Coke with Macca's new McSpicy or Palmy Burger. Three-quarter time, Richmond by 2 points, all on 3AW Football.
So at three-quarter time, the match for the title of Premier in the year 2020. COVID struck as it has been. It hangs in the balance. It's on the high wire without a net now. Richmond 7-4-46. Geelong 6-8-44. In that third quarter, Richmond kicked 4 goals to Geelong's 1-3. And the trend of the game so eerily like last year's preliminary final, where Richmond came back from 21 down at half-time to put their nose in front at three-quarter time, and then they went on to win with a bit in hand. Lee, a view from the ground, inside the Gabba.
Yeah, well, Richmond just put dialed up the pressure. Geelong just made those couple of mistakes. We mentioned early in that third quarter that Nankervis run-down turnover, went back, Richmond goal. And then College Asney, when he tried to chip the ball inside, got the ball intercepted again, another Richmond goal. And from that point onwards, Geelong just had the panics a little bit. They had the lead, they were playing well, but all of a sudden a couple of mistakes opened the door, and Richmond certainly marched through it. Martin was really good that quarter, as he often is, as a forward coming up, getting midfield ball. But no doubt it's only a small margin, obviously, 2 behinds, but Richmond have got all the momentum going into this final term.
Lee, the chairman of the committee to choose the Norm Smith medalist in 2020. You haven't got an AFL official over your shoulder putting pressure on you already, have you, Lee?
I will have in about 20 minutes, that's for sure.
For Husqvarna.
Yes, yep.
So go Lee, please, you do.
No, I was just going to say I'm quite happy for the boys to give me their views about the best handful of players on the ground, just to help with my judgment going into this final term.
Shane Edwards, Lee. Shane Edwards,
he's your man.
Yeah, I think he was magnificent. 7 clearances, 20 disposals, and I think he was brilliant in the first half when the game was going against them. So I think he was superb as well. But just on that third quarter, 10 inside 50s apiece, yet the Cats scored 6 times from their 10 inside 50. The Tigers, I felt like they had about 20 inside 50s to 5. It was 10 apiece. It was the way they scored. Jimmy, they looked to score much easier because of that stoppage dominance in the end.
Yeah, done a little bit of research, fellas, because I come prepared. Do you know the last side to win being down at three-quarter time in a grand final?
Who was that?
John Katz, 2009, for all those playing at home. So normally if you hit the front, you're home, but I don't think there's been too many this close. Maybe Collingwood, West Coast, we're pretty close. But yeah, Lloydie and Lee, I just felt it was a different mindset for Richmond. They were in Geelong's face. They kept coming forward in defence. Like we mentioned, they trust their back line a bit more. And the amount of times that quarter where a Cats defender like Blitzars, Henry, Buse, they got the ball, but Richmond were just up in their face, forcing another hurried handball.
For half an hour, Lee, who wins? Only need one word.
Richmond.
Matthew.
Richmond.
Jim.
Geelong.
Tim.
Richmond.
Tone.
Geelong.
Split vote.
Play underway, final quarter. For Dominic Alafaci in Collins House, Richmond start with a 2-point margin, middle of the ground. Topo went that time by Nankervis, got the ball back, goes up towards the northern end. Oh, Lynch, quiet all night, eases into the bark, takes it 65 out, too far out to score. Moves it on quickly with an absolute horror. Capital H, little horror, and kicks the ball straight to Stanley. So 30 seconds gone, final quarter. Richmond 46, Geelong 44. Collins House scoreboard, Stanley goes long.
Went to a contest where he had the taller man, but no one could mark. Baker been very good. Little grubber to Revolt. Hand pass wide for Graham. Left foot kick to within 20 of goal. Comes to Lambert. Hand pass, Prestia runs it home for a goal. The Tigers get one in the first minute of the last quarter, and they have a little cushion of 8 points. 8-4, 52 to 6-8, 44 on the Collins House scoreboard.
Good, this bloke, Dion Prestia. I thought his third quarter, not a huge number, but he started it. He started the rage from a centre clearance at the start of the third quarter. They got a goal out of it, and again, he just keeps going. Just keeps going and going. And I think Castagna and all the smalls, they're starting to expose, I think, the lack of speed of Harry Taylor, Kolajasny, Henderson. In that back 50.
Yeah, because of the middle of the ground, Lloydie and Lee, is they're winning it and going forward with their momentum, which is actually now finally putting the Cats defenders under pressure at ground level inside their back 50, where the first half, the Cats defenders were very rarely challenged in their back 50. They had time and space. They were able to steady over the footy, kick and mark their way out of it, or they're up high up the ground. They've got the Cats defenders back deep in their defence.
2 gone, final quarter. Tie power clock goal to Prestia. Gives the Tigers an 8-point margin, 52 to 44. Nankervis, Stanley, bounce back in the middle of play. Nankervis got the tap.
Dangerfield holding the man. Dangerfield.
So you heard that.
Patrick Dangerfield.
So no, not Selwood.
Holding the man.
So it's a free kick to Dangerfield, middle of the ground. So Dangerfield has it, told to play on. Straight up the middle he goes. Toward full forward, a lot of holding taking place. Hawkins had it, lost it, came off the boot of McIntosh, close to the boundary line, goes out of bounds in Geelong's attacking 50. Half forward right to the school end of the Gabba. Richmond 8-4, 52. Geelong 6-8, 44. For Collins House, let Dominic Alafaci build your low-cost investment portfolio.
Gary Ablett sitting on the bench. Will he get a final shot at it? Nankervis has played another wonderful second half. Brings it down to Edwards. Quick clearing ball to Revolt, who was groped over the shoulder by Henderson. And Revolt has come to life since half-time and has been an important cog up forward. What are you looking at me for, Jimmy, with that stupid grin on your face? Revolt from behind the wing. Drives Richmond to the 50. Lynch in front. One grab. Couldn't get a second bite at it. Ground level now. Taylor over it. Legs heavy. Taken by Lynch. Goes towards an unguarded goal. It's offline. Out of bounds is the perfect result for Richmond. And that's what he gets. It'll be thrown in next to the right behind post.
What they are doing well, Revolt and Lynch now creating a really good contest to bring it to ground level. And Rioli and Castagna and Lambert are looking really dangerous at ground level.
Richmond deep in attack, lead by 8 points. Lynch the knock to the front of the pack. Knocked back then, that time then by Blitzarves. Kicks in a hurry. Oh, not sure about the kick. Hooley came through. Knocked it in towards Pickett. Hopeful handball. Back to Hooley. Now, there's going to be a free kick in danger. I reckon it's going to go against Pickett.
Stay out, please.
It is a free kick, and Dalhouse takes it. 52 to 48. Richmond by 8 points. 4 gone, final quarter. I reckon it's a 50 metres, and that's bad play from the Tigers.
So silly.
Yeah, had the pressure valve down.
Even in junior footy, you can't do that.
Oh, yeah. you're slow roasting something in the old pressure cooker and you have one look at it after half an hour and bingo, it's gone. So it's a free kick going towards Duncan. To full forward, crashing the pack, Dangerfield. Front of the pack that time, Dan Henderson grabbed without it. Should be a free kick. In fact, I reckon it's going to go Richmond's
Dropping the
way.
ball.
Well, Dangerfield attacked the pack, take it through for Yarra Valley and Croydon Toyota.
The old school dropping the ball, was it, Lee?
Against Henderson.
Yeah, okay, Henderson, you thought it was holding the man, but the umpire said he dropped the ball before the
I reckon
holding the man became
it was knocked out of his
possible.
hand, which is what the umpires just seem to encourage free kicks for that now.
Been good this bloke, Noah Bolter.
He has. He's a man of many parts. He drives it long. Turned 21 yesterday, Bolter. He could really become a man by the end of this night in a football sense. Richmond's ball on the wing. Clever Martin. Little bring down. Bolton. Rioli tackled by Henderson. Very good tackle. And there will be a ball up.
Bolton's been another one. He's just had such important touches and been part of this surge forward footy in the second half.
Collins House scoreboard, 7 into the final quarter. Richmond by 8 points. Ball on the wing. Parfitt can't pick the ball up. Players just crash in. Blitzarv's handball. Selwood the clearance. In the middle of the ground. Now Geelong's got a chance. Stanley, good handball to Myers. Forward of the pack they go. Vacant goal square. They're getting back Broad. What an important grab. And Broad takes it for Prestige Hino. Goes short the Grimes back pocket. Everyone catches their breath. 52-44, Richmond by 8 points. Collins House scoreboard, Tim, and we are 6, nearly 7 into the final quarter.
Great save by Broad, one of the unsung ones, but already a two-time premiership player. Ball comes loose off a pack. Short has it for Richmond. Lovely delivery to the wing. And he makes it comfortable for Lambert, who kicks quickly. Lynch has got loose. Takes the mark, 65 out. Richmond starting to build with a bit more confidence and coherence. Tom Lynch, where does he go? He goes deep. Packed there. Bolter climbs in, but he had plenty against him. It's fisted over the line. Good spot for Richmond. Throw in right forward pocket.
Down the other end, I'm just thinking of Gary Rowan. 4 disposals again, failed on the big stage. So he can still have his moment, Gary Rowan, but he needs to have one.
Richmond by 8 points. They have it in the forward pocket from the stoppage. The clearance that time, then from Blitzarves to halfback it goes. Thought it was a free to Myers. Play on the call. Ball spills out and Nankervis drew a couple of men. Popped it out to Short, who I reckon's been wonderful for the Tigers. Kicks to the top of the square. Who can come up with it? Oh, a chance for the Tigers at the back if they can keep it alive. No! And one behind results. 8-5-53 the Tigers. 6-8-44 the Cats. Collins House scoreboard, Tim. And if you're a Richmond supporter, every minute seems like it's taken about 10 at the moment as Duncan goes long on the kick-in.
But if you are that aforementioned Richmond supporter, you know if they get the next goal, they're likely going to win the flag and they're going to attack again. Grimes has taken a wonderful mark at the kick-in and dabs short to Cochin, who's had a quiet night. Forward of the centre line. The skipper miscues the kick, makes it hard for Lynch. It spills off hands to the back. Danger territory, but Menegola's there to clean up. Just blazes away with the left. No one can mark it. Parfitt's got it for the Cats. Tackled, kick fell short. Bolton for Richmond. Being a hero, takes the mark, plays on, got himself into trouble, then out of it. Long ball, very long ball, and Lynch has marked it in the goal square. 5 metres out. If he is in the square and he is adjudged to have marked it in the square, it is a gimme shot, and they are about to get that aforementioned next goal.
It's been super, Bolton. Like, he's just been able to step through contest, gain that extra meterage. It's like a 60, 70 metre player, 10 metres carry, big long kick as well. But boy, Cats look dead on their feet at the moment.
Spot on.
Easiest shot in the world, but he is preparing himself impeccably, because he knows he just has to kick this straight, and he does. He does, and Richmond are just about there, 9-5-59 to 6-8-44. Still got over 10 minutes left. There is time, but the flow of the game is with them, and what a mighty team they are.
Lee, do you share Tim's confidence?
Oh, you'd have to. Their leg speed in this second half. On Geelong's bad games, they always can look a little bit slow because they're a pretty tall team, but they can be a little bit slow if it gets to that just pure leg speed of running into space. And now that Richmond are coming up with the ball out of the contest, out of the scrimmages in this second half, all of a sudden that leg speed, your Bolton's short off halfback, they're just making Geelong look pretty cumbersome right now. And
just been 6 goals to 1 since half time. So Geelong have got to find 3 from his point, not allow Richmond to score 1. But we talk about the Geelong marking game. They've taken 1 mark in the last quarter, which just shows how fatigued they look. They're out on their feet a little bit, but someone's got to find something. Richmond found something in the third. All at stake here this next couple of minutes for the Cats to win a stoppage, get in their front half.
10 minutes gone, final quarter, tyre power clock. Richmond by 15 points. Ball restarts middle of the ground. Nankervis, the brilliant tap straight to Martin, round the body to half forward and beyond. Lynch, ball knocked away by Taylor. Richmond react first. Castagna, handball to Pickett, round the body. He goes to half forward. Oh, Cochin was grabbed high. Oh, now this is a tough enough shot for this wonderful champion of the game.
There's going to. I thought
you just take your time.
There. Pickett came in and shoved.
Take another 30 off the clock.
Now, Cochin will be 45. Man on the mark will be 45 out. He's on a 45-degree angle. The margin for Richmond is 15 points. Sets himself. Takes the responsibility. It's a tough enough shot. Maybe a bit tighter than the 45. It's not going to be a goal. Across the face it goes. Off hands one behind. 16 points the margin. Richmond 9-6-60. Geelong 6-8-44. Collins House scoreboard. Cats with it all to do. 9:26 remains. Stewart to bring it back in for Geelong.
It's 6 goals to 1 since half-time. Stewart thumps it down the heart of the corridor, almost to the middle of the Gabba, and they'll get a free kick. Short, I think.
It's a Richmond free
Other
anyway.
way to Asprey.
Yeah, for a hold.
And he pushes wide to Jaden Short, who dabs it towards the lead from Lynch. Too short for him. Couldn't pick up the mark. Did well, though, to fight on at ground level, and he might force a ball up. He's got to be careful he's not caught over it. And there will be a ball up 30 out in front of Richmond.
Lloydie for Husqvarna. What are the inside 50s? If you can break down this final quarter that has been going 11 minutes.
9-3 in favour of the Cats, 2 goals, in favour of the Tigers, 2 goals, 2-0.
Stoppage takes place, Richmond into attack. Martin read the stoppage, got it, tackled. I don't think he can release the ball. And the umpire surely tosses it up, Tim. Great position for the Tigers, who lead by 16 points. The stoppage takes place, 30 out dead in front of Richmond's goal.
And at the ball up, it's the heaviest of traffic. O'Connor soccers it clear for Geelong to great effect. Miles collects, gives to Ablett, who's back. He bounces off a tackle. He passes into the 50, and Rowan lunged, couldn't take the mark. Socket away from him by Grimes. Tui comes the other way. Gets a hand pass to Rowan. Taken the long route, though. His hand pass smothered. Richmond win the ball back. They're winning all the big contests. Short drives them forward, nothing there. Easy for Harry Taylor, who pokes a little pass back to midfield, and Henry marks it for the Cats.
He's defensive side of the wing. Richmond by 16 points. Geelong has the footy. Kicked a half forward, not quite inside 50. Bolter got too easy a run at that time, Jim, to take the defensive mark.
Just too slow from Henry. You had the turnover. You had set up well behind the ball. He just had to be brave and wheel off the mark.
8 minutes of playing time left. Richmond have 16 points up their sleeve. To the wing it goes. Kolajasny, the tap wasn't good. Lambert to Martin, who broke a tackle. Empty goal square from 50 metres. It got there! His third, this wonderful champion. And Richmond can see it. They can sense it, but they just can't touch it yet. 10-6-66 Richmond. Geelong 6-8-44. Collins House scoreboard. Here's Lee Matthews on 3AW Football.
The second half's been outstanding, hasn't it, by Richmond, and they're continuing on in this final term. They are really making Geelong look very slow. But short off half-back, and now when the ball is running into space, it's the Richmond players that are running onto it. They've now got the 22-point margin, so a massive comeback required by Geelong. You sort of look out there, Dangerfield in the middle, Selwood in the middle. Selwood's been outstanding, I think, all night. But Dangerfield just hasn't worked for him tonight, and he has to do something really special to turn around this the momentum of this game.
3 goals to Dustin Martin, all goals of the night worthy of him. for Dan Murphy's.
The behind the goals footage won't look good for Mark Lipsarves. He had Dustin Martin as the direct matchup, and for some strange reason he wanted to drop 15 metres off the back of him. Didn't affect any of the contest, and the old-fashioned end over end for Martin for the goal from 50.
He's been magnificent. He was the catalyst late in the first half when they desperately needed a lift. Geelong's footy at the restart. Selwood drives them forward, but it's a rag kick. Dangerfield, though. It's Menegola. Takes a magnificent mark. He's poleaxed young Simpson, his teammate, in doing so. And there'll be a delay here because Simpson is probably going to need to be carried off. Menegola came as though there was no tomorrow. And for Simpson, there's no more tonight, I wouldn't think.
He's out.
What contact.
Heavy contact, wasn't it?
Brave footballer. And he hit his head on the way down as well, as we're seeing on the Yarra Valley Toyota replay.
So state of the game.
Modern footy. Yeah, accidents are more damaging than deliberate violence of the old days. I mean, because players tacked the ball so fearlessly from all different angles, that was just an accidental contact, and it's a teammate who's run into a teammate, but that doesn't mean it hurts any less.
So another stretcher comes out, the second time it's been employed tonight. Once for Nick Floston, whose night ended early in the first quarter, and now for Sam Simpson.
So the state of the game again as we stop, and we're probably stopping for another 3 or so minutes. We're 16 minutes into the final quarter, but this clock stops at 7:28. Richmond leads by 22 points, 10-6-66, Geelong 6-8-44. The mark was completed, an excellent grab it was to Menegola, but play will have stopped, and maybe this is the break in play to not only halt Richmond's momentum, but also to give the chance, to the Cats, a chance of getting one against the run of play. It's 3-0 in this final quarter. As Lee, you do make an excellent point about the ballistic nature of the game, whereas we can see, the videos like biffs, bumps and brawlers, but to actually these wonderful footballers so finely tuned and hit so hard, man alive, that was bravery, and we've seen the consequence of two of them tonight, one to Nick Floston early in the game, and now Sam Simpson being put onto the medical cart. So 22 points is the lead to Richmond. Lordy, I'll go to you for Husqvarna, as there's a stunned silence, certainly from the Richmond point of view, as Simpson is loaded onto the mobile medical cart.
There's been heroes everywhere for Richmond. I want to start with that move at half-time. I know it's more than that, but I thought the courage to take Bolter off Hawkins and say, David Asprey, it's your job. We need support for Nankervis in the ruck. That has worked magnificently well. So that has gone really well. Dustin Martin, he's now kicked 3 goals in a low-scoring game, 20 disposals, been magnificent. Shane Edwards, 22. But when you talk about it, we've said 7 goals to 1 after half-time. So it's just been a demolition, really, and they've looked slow. Geelong have looked slow since half-time compared to Richmond.
You wonder why they've waited so long not to put Dangerfield around the middle. Just a point of difference. Could have been 5 minutes. He's had a lot of time on the bench at three-quarter time. But you got to look at the positives for Richmond. They've been unbelievable in this second half, and well done, Damien Hardwick. Absolutely extraordinary coaching.
And Mr. Chairman of the Norm Smith Medal Voting Committee, is the pressure starting to weigh on your shoulders a little?
Oh, it's like a weight. It's a big weight, I can tell you.
There was a recent goal that was kicked, though, that I reckon eases. Like it eased for me last week, it helps. It helps. And if he kicks one more...
It's a charge of the Light Brigade at the moment, though, as Bert Bryant used to say at Flemington.
Three-man race at the moment, though, isn't it?
Who's your 3? Edwards?
Short, Martin.
And, I love Bolter's game too. I know maybe not, but he could get a 1.
I'll tell you, if Bolter and Bolton get mixed up a bit too, that could make it interesting.
And Prestia...
Who's been Geelong's best?
Mix of Stewart and Duncan. Selwood's been good.
Selwood good?
Yeah, Selwood's been very good. And Bolton and Prestia have been fantastic for the Tiggies.
Sam Simpson, 22-year-old son of a cat, is on the mobile stretcher bearer and is about to be driven from the ground, not to reappear in this grand final with only 7.5 minutes left. The Cats face a 22-point deficit. Now, it can still be won from here. Menegola will be having a shot for goal.
Big shot,
From just inside 50. He could kick that and he could breathe life into Geelong yet, and perhaps this hiatus could just cause a bit of a change in the temperature of the game, and who knows. We've been surprised once or twice tonight already. Simpson puts his hands to his eyes as he's being taken off, so his consciousness is being regathered, it would seem. He's out of the field of play now and not far from a shot for goal.
Had the most contested possessions, or equal most, with Joel Selwood on the ground for the Cats. So he came into the side late. We commentated him one night, and where you kept calling him, geez, that young Sam Simpson's really good throughout the year.
Yeah.
Good buddy, and then did a really bad hamstring injury and was a late comer into the Cats side for the finals, and he's had a good finals
I think we
campaign.
refer to him as quietly effective.
Quite, oh yeah, sneaky Sam Simpson.
Sneaky good.
Sneaky good, that was it.
So play has stopped at 7:28 remaining in the final quarter. Collins House scoreboard. Go to collinshouseonline.com. It's Richmond by 22 points. Geelong has the ball at centre half forward. Menegola took the most wonderful mark, certainly contender for prestige Hino trucks. But moreover than that, it will test all of his powers as everyone has stopped. We are now again stopped for the best part of 5 or 6 minutes. So the time clock will again tell us we're 21 minutes into the final quarter, but it's more the time left of 7:28. So Sam Simpson is being taken on the stretcher. He will head up the Geelong race. And play will restart in a matter of moments as generous applause rings the Gabba for Sam Simpson, moving his arms. They're folded, but there was just some movement there. And now it's up to both teams, Richmond to regain the momentum, and Geelong's turn now, as Richmond did just before half-time, to turn it on its head. It's a 22-point game Richmond's way. And in fact, it is that 7-goal turnaround since a minute to go prior to half-time. Dustin Martin has been wonderful. Goals in the second, third and fourth quarter, all of which just underline what a brilliant footballer he is. So, Tim, we're just waiting for the all-clear now. Menegola, the umpire will blow time back on in a matter of moments.
We have seen the crowd posted for the Gabba's first AFL Grand Final, Tone, 29,707.
Which was, I think it was capped at 30,000,
yep.
So most, obviously about 98% of those that have tickets have turned up. Tim, here we go. Menegola has the footy. He's about 55 metres out.
And they have to make a goal out of this one way or another, whether off his boot or via another means, I would think, to have a chance. He winds up from outside 50. It's not bad. It is better than that. He's kicked the goal and play restarts with a team lifter. The margin 16 points. Richmond 10-6-66. Geelong 7-8-50. Menegola's second goal of the night. All on the Collins House 3AW scoreboard.
It's still a strong chance here because, look, 16 points in 7 minutes. We've seen big swings, but it's really important through the centre here for the Cats. They've been overwhelmed in this second half by Richmond's forward pressure. So, Lloydie, massive contest this centre bounce.
It is, and who knows what that break does in this game. It's probably came at Simpson, no good for Simpson, but it stopped the game where it was all Tigers. It gives them a chance to restart, have a little bit of a chat. But they're pretty much 2 men down, Simpson and also Gary Ablett, who's really been ineffective with that shoulder. But as you said, big clearance here.
Such a critical centre bounce, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've got who they got in? They got Guthrie and Dangerfield and Selwood, so a couple of their big guns, but they just have to force the ball forward from this play. It's so critical.
And 2 quick ones would change everything. Umpire Fleer at his first grand final. Perfect bounce at a critical moment. Taken out of the air by Nankervis, tackled. And there'll be another ball up.
Jump ball.
Nankervis and Stanley, this time off short run. Stanley wins this one. Socket forward, Richmond's way by Edwards. Wide to half forward. Lynch and Taylor. Taylor on old legs. Nurses the ball to Menegola. Gang tackled. Has to release boundary side. Graham covers it for Richmond. Fell over. Little hand pass. Socket by Castagna off a leg. Out of bounds.
Goes off the boot that
And it
time.
will be a Richmond free kick. Might have been intentional by Castagna into the legs of an opposition player, and it will be a Richmond free kick. Castagna takes it, kicks to the top of the goal square, huge pack fisted by the Cat defence to the boundary, throw in right forward pocket for Richmond.
6:32 remains, Lloydie. It is Richmond by 16 points, and they've got it at the right end for the Tigers.
It is. It's got to take risks now, so they just got to take every risk there is. Play on when you normally wouldn't. You've got to kick 3 goals in 6 minutes.
Lynch does the ruck work, got the fingertips on it. Coming through that time then for the Tigers was Edwards. Coming through then Graham, who kicked it out on the full in a hurry. So Geelong get the free kick, back pocket. Stewart to take it. Collins House scoreboard with 6:19 remaining of the grand final. Richmond 66, Geelong 50. Stewart's kick long, almost to the wing. Big ball to be won. Back of the pack short has been sensational for them tonight. Kicks it high towards half forward. Revolt! As the Geelong backline stare at each other, wondering who was meant to be going with him. It is that look, Jim, that you go to the refrigerator and you just stand there for 15 seconds and you wonder, now why on earth did I come here? As Kolodjasny looks at a couple
I reckon
of
Martin's presence, Tone. I reckon Martin's presence in that near that contest drew the couple of Geelong defenders, and Rewalt was just able to float in on his own.
45 out, 45-degree angle. Jack Rewalt. He's a coming bag. No. One behind. We have threatened extra time all year. 17 points is the lead to Richmond. Stewart doesn't muck about, goes straight up the middle of the ground. Danger knocks it forward. Ball in dispute in the middle of the ground. Free kick, I would have thought to Buse.
Bit over 5 minutes left. Still time for the Cats. Buse drives it forward to the 50. Richmond with the numbers. Broad in front. Dalehouse down, took the crumb. Away from goal to Duncan. Wide towards Myers. And Tui there to help him out. Gets himself out of trouble. Kicks quickly, but Cochin in the way. Over a compromised Ablett. Just not really able to get the left arm above his head. Cochin's kick is untidy. Taken by Prestia on the half volley. Hand pass to Baker. Another fine Tiger. Got a little hand pass just to make sure he wasn't trapped over the ball, and there will be a ball up 40 out from Geelong's goal at about a 45-degree angle to the sticks.
Collins House scoreboard, Richmond by 17 points. 4 minutes 37 remains in the grand final. And the Cats have it 40 out from their goal. Stanley knocks it forward. Broad, though, defensively shovels to Hurley, who knocks the ball to halfback. Edwards' handball missed on the way through. Gary, the handball. Kicked that, handball straight to Stanley. Ball went straight up in the air. Knocked forward by Guthrie. I reckon the Tigers would be happy for it to run out of bounds, as Hurley made next to no attempt to keep it alive. Half forward, right 40, around from the Geelong goal at the school end of the Gabba. Richmond by 17 points. Collins House scoreboard, Tim, 4 minutes 20 remains.
And Geelong need 3 goals in that time. Nankervis front position down to Cochin. Hand pass to Pickett. Swinging left footer, but favouring Kolodjasny against Martin, and he takes the mark between wing and half forward for the Cats. Kolodjasny kicks to within 30 of goal. Nankervis there lays the fist on it sideways to the boundary for a throw in.
We're nearly at Lee Matthews rule 1.1 goals versus minutes.
We are.
So
I know I'd like to be at the moment, however, Jimmy,
yeah.
you'd like to be in the Tigers' position, wouldn't you?
Certainly.
Geelong has it into attack, but Richmond by 17 points. Hawkins edges his man out of the way. Nankervis, beautiful slap. Halfback win to the Tigers. Graham's got it. Ball carries Lynch. Tries to knock it forward. Geelong has 3 defenders at halfback. Stewart. Handball to Henry. Goes short and wide. 3:38 remains. Geelong has the ball. Tui Tui goes to the wing. Geelong have it. Richmond lead by 17 points. Little round the body finds its way to Ablett forward to the wing on the Stanley Street side.
Cats have got to move it quickly and decisively. He goes long. That's decisive enough. Grimes there with the fist. The spill favours Hooley. Little hand pass to Bolton. Tigers come clear again. Baker, swinging kick. Lynch in the van. Couldn't quite hang on to the mark. Gets a little paddle to Edwards. The barn doors open to Rioli. He was off before he had it and he lost it. But the Tigers get it back. Bolton bombs away at an unguarded goal and he misses everything. And there will be a throw in the left forward pocket. And in some ways that's as good as a result as if it had gone through for a goal.
We speak about the pace. They've just been too quick for them. Too quick, these Smalls. He had a player over the top. Rioli just had to lob it over to him there, Bolton.
Can Richmond finish it now, leading by 17 points? 3 remains. Collins House scoreboard. Shallow throw in. It was Rowe that won behind. Well, now the kick that time from Lynch. And I can confidently assert, Lee, that Richmond is not going to lose the game in normal time. But I don't want to be any more brave than that. 18 points the margin, and Stewart again. No time to waste. Straight up the middle of the ground.
Good spoil by Buse. Won though by Lambert for Richmond. Hand pass turns it over. Dangerfield just bombed away to nobody. Baker's there. So's the McIntosh who collects, gives to Baker. Little left footer is perfect. And Revolt, who has lifted hugely in the second half, has taken the mark within range. He missed about 2 or 3 minutes ago. This surely is Jack's moment. The moment he lives for. The moment where he can kick a goal to crown a Tiger flag. A third in 4 years. He concentrates fiercely as he lines them up. All the images.
Waiting for the climb. Waiting for the countdown clock, Tim. That's what he's doing.
I was thinking he was picturing all those scenes in the backyard on the eastern shore of Hobart. As a kid, he comes in and he does what he always dreamt of doing. It's the Tigers flag. Jack has sealed it. It's Richmond by 24 points. The celebration's on. Tone, they've got around him. And Ash Barty's almost, well, she's not almost jumping the fence. She's clapping sedately. Let's keep the lid on it.
Lee, I know the game is going to be dissected, analysed, or to use the great Tim Shaw from Demtel, sliced, diced and julienned. But where did Richmond turn it round?
Oh, well, I think their speed. They started to get the ball out of the stoppages, out of the scrimmages, and once they did that, they got the ball running. And then the Geelong leg speed over their 22 was just not good enough, and Richmond have just ran away with much that quick, fast-moving footy that they're so good at.
8 goals to 1, Jimmy, since half-time.
Slaughtering.
Yep, and Dimmer, good on him. Damien Hardwick, now a 3-time premiership coach. What a career. And a 2-time premiership player, so he's now been involved in 5. Dimmer Hardwick.
And have a look at that. They were down, nearly out, trailing by 21 points just before half-time. Dustin Martin magic, and it's all one-way traffic after half-time. Collins House scoreboard, Richmond by 24 points. They're going to go forward again. Koch and clever play just lowers the eyes to Rioli. Forward of the centre in the centre square. Minute 33 to go. This is schoolyard bully stuff now as Richmond can just knock it around. Keep it away from the little kids.
Genuinely got the edge on the Cats, don't they?
McIntosh, the high kick, the full forward. Richmond by 4 goals. A lot of shepherding taking place. Stanley had it, lost it. Handball was stolen by Martin. Kept himself alive. That is the best of the 4 of them. He kept it alive against the boundary line. And Lee, if you ever take any advice from me from football, and you're not going to change the habit of 20 years, but fair dinkum, he's going to have another medal around his neck. Dustin.
What's that saying?
Sorry.
What's that saying? Goals wins games, Tone? Is that what you're inferring?
What I'm saying is, as the number on his back says, number 4, 4 of the greatest goals. It's Ablett-esque from 89, a few less, but each and every one have had their own stamp of Dustin Martin individuality. 30-point lead, minute to go to Richmond, 12-8-80. Geelong 7-8-50. All hail them, Lloydie. What a team and what a club this has become in the last 5 years.
It'll be the best of his Norm Smiths. His other two were brilliant performances on the big stage, but he kicked crucial goals at big moments. He kicked a bag against the Giants, but they belted the Giants. But that's just ridiculous. You think of each individual goal he's kicked tonight have come at huge moments.
Stole a hand pass, shook off a tackle,
Danger.
and kicked the goal from an impossible angle. From the ball up, Nankervis has got it. He gives to Edwards, who gives to Cochin, and now it's a clinic to Graham, to Revolt, who takes a mark, 45 out.
Shane Edwards is going to be the stiffest man getting around. He's played an absolute blinder tonight.
Hey, just on Jack Revolt, was it last year he kicked the goal after the siren? On the siren against the Giants. I reckon he kicked one pretty much with a second or two to go. I think there was maybe 3 seconds on the clock when he kicked it, and we're going to be very, very similar here. But Dusty Martin, possibly 3 Norm Smiths, the first time ever, isn't it, Tim?
Yep,
first time ever.
It is. The celebration on in earnest in the dugout. Even the coach has claimed it now as Revolt. To kick a third goal in the second half from outside 50, he won't. He's just missed to the right. It's a minor score. The margin is 31 points. The Tigers, from 15 down at halfway, have totally dominated the second half, and this is a glorious victory that is about to be proclaimed. The Tigers have truly earned their stripes now. 3 flags in 4 years. They've won the Gabba Grand Final in the year of COVID. To 7-8-50. Richmond by 31 points. A 46-point swing after half-time. They are a mighty outfit. We will sing their praises well into the night, but not quite as far into the night as their fervent supporters and the players themselves. It's a glorious moment for them. This has been a mighty achievement by the yellow and black. Lots of embraces, handshakes. I don't suppose they're really meant to be shared at this moment, but who can help it? And a poignant one between Tom Lynch and Gary Ablett, former Gold Coast Suns, of course, in the early years of Queensland's second club. But to the victor go the spoils, and the Tigers right now are overloaded with spoils. 3 premierships in 4 years, and this might be the best, having battled their way through some ups and downs in this turbulent football season, and now they've won their way to another flag. They're 13th.
Oh, phenomenal. You know, and just the way they did it. They're under the pump. Geelong just looked like they just had the game on their terms, and then to kick 9 goals 7 to 2 goals 3. Nick Boston, he's put his jumper back on to enjoy the celebrations. He was knocked out. And just thought, Tim, we said, they don't look like scoring. They did not look like scoring, and Tom Stewart's marking everything, and Lynch and Revolt didn't look like it. And they come out after half-time, and it was a different ball game.
I want to talk to you all. I asked Jimmy a question at 3/4 time. Lee, I'd be interested in your thoughts. What is it that happens to a group when they go out thinking they're playing at their highest intensity level, but then it's not until they're really staring down the barrel that they discover that there is more in the tank, and the great teams find it?
Well, that is, it's always the 60. Why is always the interesting question. Tim, I thought that Geelong shot themselves a little in their foot themselves, a little bit in the first 5 minutes of the third quarter when they gave Richmond those couple of goals with some bad turnovers. Then once Richmond were back in the game, then they just looked like they had the speed and the run and completely overwhelmed Geelong from that point onwards. But those couple of goals early in the third quarter, that gave Richmond hope. And from that point onwards, they were just so much stronger.
Yeah, for me, Tim and Lloydie and Lee, sometimes it's just the simple cues. We know how players are very literal because they're being well coached. And you and I were talking, Tim, off air. It can be as simple as Damien Hardwick and the coaches just saying, come hard forward, aggressive, defend, get up in their face. And that was the difference. They were sitting back. They were under siege. They were almost goalkeeping in a way of defence. But the second half, and especially the first 10-15 minutes, every time a Geelong player received the ball, next in camera coming forward hard was a Richmond player. You know, Bolton, Castagna as forwards, Cochin just blasting at them. And Geelong players started to panic under pressure. The next handball was the next player under pressure. And all they could get was then a quick kick, which actually allowed Richmond to get that forward momentum and play the game in their half.
Nice little touch there, Tim. You know, I love to lip read players, but Jack Revolts just walked over to Dangerfield and said, we would love to give Gary Ablett a guard of honour. So even though they've won the premiership, they want to, and Danger's just walked over to Gary and said the Richmond players would like to, you know, give you the recognition you deserve, even though it's on grand final day.
Terrific stuff from our resident Liberal. He is quite amazing.
He's good.
Yeah. Oh dear, it's a joyful thing to watch because this was hard work for Richmond really from the start of the season. It looked as though the shortened quarters might prevent them from really being able to unleash this snowplow sort of football that they get going, this forward-moving game in the way that had enabled them so many times over 3 seasons to just wear teams down. But they found a way through it week by week and eventually reached this final series. Had a hiccup, lost their first final against Brisbane, but then found their way through. Port Adelaide first, and now they have beaten Geelong to win the flag.
12-9-81, Richmond defeating Geelong 7-8-50. At quarter time, it was a point Geelong's way. At half time, it was 15 points, not before Martin's magnificent beating 3 blokes snap got it back to 15 points. It was a 2-point lead to Richmond at 3/4 time. Game still in the air. Another brilliant effort by Martin. And then the final quarter, really, I think, Lee, I know you can simplify the game, but 4 goals, 5 to 1 goal really just says how dominant the Tigers were.
They did stop, didn't they, Geelong? That was the other. I mean, Richmond was certainly dominant, obviously, but given that Geelong, I mean, they were a bit wasteful in the first half. Richmond's tackling pressure was good all night, but then eventually in the second half, once that tackling pressure, Geelong just couldn't break clear at all, and the scoreboard for them just dried up, and Richmond, it was just goal after goal. So just a mighty second half when you come up with 9 goals. I mean, we know this short quarter, so 9 goals, 7.5 a footy, that's a big output. That's a big score.
So just want to look at Geelong. You know, let's talk about, they took 21 marks in the first quarter, then they got 10 in the second, and then the last quarter it dropped down to 7 marks. So they just didn't have the run, and it's amazing. They had a great year, Geelong, but they've got to look at a lot of players. Gary Ablett's one. They'll be looking at Harry Taylor. They'll be looking at Lockie Henderson and how they can inject some pace, because 2 years straight they've been overwhelmed by the run of Richmond in big games.
Yeah, and that's why it's important for them to try and hang on to Jordan Clark, because he's a point of difference around their back line. I know they're tall and they're big and they defend so well and their numbers will look good, but the only time Geelong gets beaten is when they're slow out of their back half and not generating any run. They're a mark, slow kick the footy out of their back line. We see, Stewart tries to kick the footy, Kolajasny goes safe, Blitzarves goes safe with the ball, so they need some run and dash and dare back there. So whether it's moving a player back there that they've already got on their list, or they go target it. But for me, Lloydie, as well, Richmond beat Geelong by 4 possessions. That mightn't sound like much, but Geelong are a high possession team. When they win, they absolutely blow the opposition away, and Richmond don't need a lot of touches. So for them to win the possession count as well is a reflection on their dominance.
Matthew, what makes Jaden Short, and I know everyone will concentrate on the bleedingly obvious with Dustin and others and Jack, but what makes him such a good player? Because you rarely see him miss.
772 metres gained.
Oh, really?
So it just shows too the yardage that he gets. Rarely misses a target. So he's gone at 78% by foot, 772 metres gained, 25 disposed. He's a half-back flanker, 7 inside 50s, which was more than any other player on the ground. So, I think he should be top 3. Yeah, he should be top 3 in this Norm Smith voting.
But it is like that. Like, as we've seen, Dylan Grimes and Nick Floston, sadly, not much that he could do today after that really heavy knock. Asprey, now once he got his back right, his body right's been part of this fabulous run. But then Jaden Short, and also too, game 42 for Liam Baker.
Yeah.
It's just another one. You just sense that whatever the systems they have in place down there, it must be the envy of every other club.
Both of them under 180 centimetres, incidentally. I know 180 is just a sort of a random figure, but it happens to be around one, and it tends to be almost the minimum medium-sized player these days. And the Tigers actually have a high number of players under 180 there too, and that's great. I mean, it's terrific for the game that players under that mark, around about the 6 foot mark, can still be not just effective players, but really damaging ones for their teams.
Yeah, they've also got an elite skill set in one area of the game. Baker's actually pretty good overhead. He's pretty tough and brave as well, so he makes up for lack of height. He's not exactly a short ass, as we're trying to say, but he's pretty tough and he plays above his height. And Jaden Short's got an
So
elite
does Short
skill.
too, I think. Jimmy, doesn't he? Jimmy.
Yeah.
Jimmy's he's the same Short.
Yeah.
They play tall.
They
Tell
play
you about his name, it gets very confusing.
But they've got
His kicking skills, Stuart.
Yeah, his kicking skills is an elite talent. Like it's at the very pinnacle across the competition. So they make up for it in that area as well. So if you're going to be towards that size, Tim, you need to bring something to the table.
And on some of the stats that I'd prepared for the night, Jimmy, Geelong have 7 players 30 or older, and we were just talking about the slowness when they needed to be quick and when Richmond got in their face. Hawthorn had 6 when they won their 3rd premiership, and then they started their decline.
Yeah, and if they maintain now, like I know Taylor and Ablett are moving on, but if it all stays the same and you add Higgins and whoever else, it's close to 15 to 16 players who are between that 28 and above. Like even Menegola is 28, Cam Guthrie's 28, 29, Blitzarv's 28. They're a very, very experienced list, and it helped them this year. We could tell that experience and that continuity of the group, were pretty steady throughout the year. Got them to a grand final.
Presentation of the Norm Smith Medal, Player Medals and Premiership Cup will be taking very, very shortly. Let's go to the ground announcements. Richmond again victorious 3 times in 4 years, 12-9-81 to 7-8-50. So
you'd be sitting uneasily if you're the chairman of the committee that made the decision, wouldn't you, on the Norm Smith? You'd be wondering how the crowd will react. You'd be on the edge of your seat.
Sometimes they're hard, sometimes they're easy when you get to the 3 votes, and it was pretty easy today, Tim. But it's always when you get the 2s and 3s and 1s and stuff like that. That's the thing that's where it's often hard.
As first up, the umpires receiving their acknowledgement, the elite umpires, in what has been an outstanding season on so many levels, and topped off with the best side, Richmond winning by 31 points. As here, Joel Selwood, and they must be the hardest words to get out, but a class act since the first time he plays, an 18-year-old, the skipper of the Geelong Football Club with 310 games. Here's Joel Selwood.
Firstly, to Damien and Trent, you guys just too good against the Richmond Football Club. We'll stay in envy of what these guys are doing right now, and we've just got to chase them. To our members and supporters, we can't thank you enough for the support. It's a really tough year what 2020's been, but we've got the support everywhere up here in Queensland. To Ford and our sponsors, to AFL Queensland for the special job that they've done. And I just want to quickly speak about our group. I just want to thank them for their efforts. They've been outstanding. We've had 161 at one stage in the hub, and we've loved the journey. We just couldn't quite get there. And just quickly, there's a little bald bloke over there. We just want to say we love you and we thank you for what you've done for the game.
So the acknowledgement there for Gary Ablett Jr. So now it is Byron Pickett.
Folks, please join me in welcoming Byron Pickett to present the Norm Smith Medal for the player best, judge best of round in the 2020 Toyota AFL Grand Final.
2004 Norm Smith medalist in Port Adelaide's only flag.
The Norm Smith Medal with 4 goals, 21 disposals, Dustin Martin.
He might be spoken of as the greatest finals player in history.
Dustin Martin, 3 times Norm Smith medalist, receiving from Byron Pickett. Here's Dustin.
First of all, I'd just like to thank Geelong for an awesome game. You're an awesome club, and well done to Gads on an unbelievable career. To the AFL, Toyota, the government, and last but not least, the Richmond Footy Club. Let's go!
21 touches, 4 goals. And is there something else about the stats there? They're the bleedingly obvious one, but contested?
Yeah, 21 even 10 contested, 9 uncontested, 4 goals, 4 clearances, 5 inside 50s.
It's with great pleasure that we welcome the 22 representatives of the NAB and AFL Auskick Note program, who will present the medallions to each player of the winning team. First up, number 1, Nick Foloston.
Lloydie?
Yeah, unfortunately knocked out in the early moments of the game, Jim. So just the one disposed for Nick, but another wonderful season from Nick Boston.
Even highlights the brilliant coaching performance. Damien Hardwick, 1 man down for 90% of the game time.
Number 2,
Dylan Grimes.
How many?
4 disposals for Grimes, but he played on Dangerfield. After he kept Rowan pretty much statless in the first half, Dangerfield statless in the second half. What a year he had. Lee.
Number 3, Dion Prestia.
Lee, another great game from Dion Prestia.
Yeah, he's a solid contributor, part of that midfield group that got on top in the second half.
Well, this next player is going to be fun. Dustin Martin. I think the best of his Norm Smith medals.
Number 4, Dustin Martin.
And that's saying something because he was extraordinary in the other 2 games, but just the moments in this game where he bobbed up were just at the absolute pinnacle, the highest tension, and when they needed them.
And even that goal just before half-time,
yeah,
how big that was against the runner plate.
It's like 4 goals of the day, wasn't it?
Love watching this bloke play, Lloydie.
Liam Baker, how many touches, Lloydie?
14 disposals for Liam Baker, 4 inside 50s.
Tough.
Looks really composed, uses it beautifully, Liam Baker, and plenty of metres gained for him as well.
Number 8, Jack Rewalt.
Jack Rewalt, I think you can summarise his career in 2 parts. It was the individual Coleman medal goal kicking forward, and then the premiership years where he's done everything else to help the team and make his teammates better.
This is Poppy. Very nice to meet you. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, you played really well.
Sarah, you come down with me. Thank you so much. Come on, Sarah.
Number 10,
Number 10, Shane Edwards.
He's probably going to have a lot of number 2 votes or 1 votes in the Norm Smith medal. He was absolutely superb throughout the whole game. 4 quarters, 27 touches, 9 clearances, 4 inside forward 50s. Just a monster game from Shane Edwards.
Number 11, Jason Castagna.
Now, Jason Castagna, I thought he played pretty well. 11 disposals, 1 goal, 1 was his pressure and speed at ground level, which I think was overwhelming for Geelong in that second half. So I think that he played a really good game. And
David Asprey.
Number 12, David Asprey.
David Asprey, Lloydie, you said it was one of the great moves of Damien Hardwick. We know how great he's been as a defender, but he probably came into the game expecting to defend and spend half the time in the ruck.
Yeah, Tommy Hawkins only had the 2 touches on David Asprey after
Number
half-time.
14, Basher Hooley.
Basher and family, 3 little ones with him as he receives his 3rd premiership medal.
.31 win to Richmond.
Number 15, Jaden Short.
He was wonderful.
Oh, yeah. We just touched on Jaden Short. Elite kick, run, carry, and was a four-quarter performer, Jaden Short. Daniel Rioli, obviously the next player. He was a little bit fumbly tonight. Daniel Rioli didn't probably have his best game, Jimmy, but again, three-time premiership player now, Daniel Rioli.
Yeah, and like Castagna, it was more their forward pressure, all the stuff that you don't measure, but yeah, not his best night, but he still found ways to contribute.
And it's the turn now of the man in the black Cowboy suit.
Lee, how did you see Tom Lynch's game?
Second half was pretty good, I thought. I mean, I think the Geelong defence had them all under control, but Lynch and Riewoldt in the second half both became significant players, didn't they?
Number 21, Noah Bolter.
Jim, one of the great stories. Yeah. This is one of the big stories. I hope he gets the recognition he deserves, because he was instrumental.
Every final series you see a coming out party, this guy could be anything. He's 21.
Youngest player in the game.
Yeah, physically can do anything.
23, Kane Lambert.
I thought Kane had a quiet first half, but a huge second half, Kane Lambert. I thought he was brilliant in the third quarter, 4 disposals and a goal, and in the last quarter as well. Just kept running and running and running, and pretty much ran them into the ground.
Number 25, Toby Nankervis.
Almost a carbon copy, Lee, of last week. Quiet to half-time and brilliant after half-time.
Yeah, it just keeps going. I mean, you think, oh, geez, he's struggling here, but he just keeps ploughing through Nankervis. He goes at one pace the whole day.
But very funny, we can see on the screen. Big Nank got fresh aired by the young kid who's giving the handshake. Shea Bolton, guys, I thought he was fantastic, again, especially in the second half, but just his explosiveness around the contest. He's a 60, 70 metre player. He picks up the ball, carries it 5 to 10 metres, and has some serious depth on his kicking. There's Camden McIntosh, the next one up, Lloydie.
Yeah,
33, Camden McIntosh.
He gives them that outside run and carry, and I love his story. Didn't get a game last year, but said, I've got to go away, I've got to get tougher, I've got to get fitter and get my spot back in this team, and he certainly did that and had a wonderful season.
Second premiership medal.
Yeah.
Number 34, Jack Graham.
And this guy, Lee, was the heartbreak story of last year. Mitt did his shoulder in the prelim, and that's how Pickett got his game.
He was serviceable today too, wasn't he? Yeah. I mean, pretty good numbers for a permanent forward.
Number 35, Nathan Broad.
Underrated, this guy. Underrated. I thought he had Dangerfield covered really well in that first half.
Looked on the outer at the start of the season, fought his way back in the side and was absolutely super through the back half of the year. 3-time premiership player they've plucked out of the waffle. 70, I think about 78, 79 games.
Yeah.
And here's the story of last year. 4 kids with him as he makes his way up to get his second premiership medallion.
What game number is this, Tim? 23? 20. Game 20. Game 20, is it?
Hey, how easy is football? And 20 games, 2 flags.
Hey, Tim, you made this point late in the season. While the numbers and the explosive way he introduced himself last year, he has been very quietly effective in the run home for them.
I think this was the toughest game I've seen him play. Yeah, I thought he cracked in harder in this game than the other finals.
Richmond, number 9, Trent Cotchin.
Jimmy, this guy, what a warrior he's been.
Yeah, I thought his last quarter and a half, and even the last 5 minutes, when Geelong kicked a goal after Menegola, kicked that one after Sam Simpson went down. The next 5 minutes, Trent Cotchin stamped himself around the contest, finished with 19 touches, physical, brutal, and that's probably been the big change again with these Richmond senior players. Not the 30 touches, but the aggression.
Malcolm Blight to present the Jock McHale medal for the coach, the winning coach, the 2020 AFL Toyota Premiership from Richmond. Damien Hardwick.
And Blighty won 2 Jock McHale's himself, and now he hands Damien Hardwick his third.
And they did it the hard way today, the Tigers. Did it easy the first grand final, easy the second one, and he had to make some moves.
Here's Trent Cotchin, the winning captain.
Well, first and foremost, I grew up a Geelong supporter. What a dream come true to play you guys in a grand final. I've been envious of you since arriving at Richmond a long time ago. It's a credit to the way you continue to show up, perform every year. So thank you and well done on the year. Thank you to the AFL and the Queensland Government and their partners. It's been incredible, 110 days or so being up here. Didn't expect it to be this way, but everyone's treated it like an adventure and it's been a lot of fun. There's been some challenges, but nevertheless very grateful to be a part of it. To our Richmond fans here, back home, and all across Australia, it never seems to amaze me just how proud and loud you are. Wherever we are, you show up in massive numbers, you give your all, and we're so grateful for your support. To our major sponsors, Jeep, NIB, NIB, Swinburne, Puma, Host Plus, thank you for your ongoing support. It's incredible. Footy clubs wouldn't exist without your support and help all the way through the year. The Elite Accommodation and all their staff, thank you so much for all your help, your love and support, your amazing meals. It's been an incredible journey and a big part of this year's story, and we're very thankful. To our families of both players, staff, here tonight, but also back home, we know how much you've sacrificed. It's been one hell of a journey. I hope that you can sit there in front of your TV with a massive smile, and the people that are here are incredible. Finally, the Richmond organisation, all of our staff here at home, and all of my teammates and coaches, we did it. What an exciting.
Thank you.
And the coach, Damien
to
Hardwick.
Brian and Chris, your side is simply amazing. We admire you guys enormously, what you've been able to do over the course of the journey. You're an incredible competitor. That grand final today was something I think the whole AFL was looking forward to, and I think we got a hell of a game. So well done. You're a terrific organisation. We'll see you again next year. An incredible side. To the Queensland Government and the State of Queensland, we thank you so much for allowing us to play. It's the one thing we wanted to do, and you allowed us to do that, so we thank you incredibly much. To my wonderful family who are home, it's a little bit emotional with this. You've given me incredible support. You're not here, unfortunately. The circumstances we're in make it incredibly difficult. So all the people that we did leave behind in Melbourne, together with all the Tiger faithful here, we applaud you. But we always also remember those people in Melbourne that have done it tough. So thank you guys for supporting us from afar. Like thank our sponsors, Jeep, NIB, Puma, Host Plus, the Swinburne Centre. Without you guys, we'd be nothing. We thank you once again. And then finally, this team. We started at the bottom of the mountain with everyone else, but to be the very last side on the top is an incredible journey. We've had an enormous amount of fun. We've had some incredible challenges, and one thing I will say, when push comes to shove, boys, you guys raise the bar. You're an incredible side, an incredible organisation. So to Brendan and Peggy, I applaud you guys as well. I can't wait to see your statue smacker on the outside of Punt Road. And finally, to the Tiger Army, both here and far, we thank you very much. Without you guys, we don't exist. We play for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have the pleasure of inviting Ash Barty to the stage to present the Premiership Cup to Captain Trent Cotchin and the coach, Damien Hardwick.
And the French Open champion of last year hands over the silverware, which is raised on high by the coach and the captain, who are immediately joined by the milling throng of players who have had to dig to previously unplumbed depths to win this flag.
And so it was in 2020. It was Richmond 12-9-81, defeating Geelong 7-8-50. Dustin Martin with 4 incredible goals for the third time, the Norm Smith medalist. Right across Australia, all thanks to McDonald's. You're listening to 3AW Football.
Look out, NRL. There's a serious storm approaching New South Wales. It's the Melbourne Storm.
Munster, open side, last angle, used! Oh, great pass, great run, great try. Jesse Bromwich, he's got Pappenhausen inside, he passes it back to the fullback, he streaks away and scores another Melbourne Storm try.
Don't miss the 2020 NRL Grand Final. Melbourne Storm and the Penrith Panthers from 7 p.m. Sunday, right here on 3AW 693.
Don't buy any new Toyota without first seeing Yarra Valley and Croydon Toyota. Established in 1968, Melbourne's oldest and most trusted metropolitan dealer. Yarra Valley and Croydon Toyota, LMCT 1541.
There's something I just have to tell you, and Macca's has a new 100% Aussie chicken menu. It sounds so delicious, I don't know which part's my favourite. There's the seriously saucy palmy burger with Parmigiana and cheese sauce, juicy, tender McChicken pieces in a delicious coating, and irresistible chicken salt shaker fries. And there's the fiery McSpicy, Macca's hottest burger ever. Oh, and I have to tell you this, you can get free small fries and Coke with Macca's new McSpicy or Palmy burger. Such a good offer, I just couldn't keep it to myself. The only trouble is deciding which burger to try first. Try the new 100% Aussie chicken menu, available now at Macca's.
Victoria, we just want to say thank you.
This year, you've truly shown your support.
Every time you click for Vic, you've helped keep our lights on and our spirits high.
From city to country, you've gotten behind fellow Victorians.
Thousands of purchases, big and small, have all helped us to survive. So thank you.
We've got so much to look forward to, so keep championing Victoria and click for Vic.
Head to visitvictoria.com/clickforvic to discover how.
Drinks delivered just in time for the first goal, the halftime break, or the grand final after party. Dan Murphy's delivers. Shop now at danmurphys.com.au. Conditions apply. Drink responsibly.
Experiencing joint aches and pains and been recommended glucosamine? Choose the new affordable Deep Heat Glucosamine and Chondroitin Joint Health Support. Made in Australia for Australians, Deep Heat Glucosamine and Chondroitin relieves mild joint pain and supports healthy joints. Now available at Chemist Warehouse. Follow directions for use.
Sheen Panel Service. As an essential service, Sheen Panel Service is open. Whether it's to pick up groceries, head to the pharmacy, or to get to work, we're here to keep you on the road. We're offering free pickup and delivery and can provide you with an accident replacement vehicle fully sanitised. From the team at Sheen, please stay safe. Visit sheengroup.com.au for one of our 26 locations across Victoria, or call 1300 Repair.
Sheen Panel Service. Don't buy any new Toyota without first seeing Yarra Valley and Croydon Toyota. Established in 1968, Melbourne's oldest and most trusted metropolitan dealer. Yarra Valley and Croydon Toyota, LMCT 1541.
Did you hear the latest with Ben?
So juicy.
Speaking of juicy, Macca's new chicken McPieces are so juicy and tender, and their chicken salt shaker fries are so crispy. And if you want
Macca's new chicken menu, too good to keep to yourself.
Available after 10:30 a.m.
It is 11 minutes to 11. Richmond are the champions, but the Gabba, you can hear the applause. It is a time of melancholy as Gary Ablett farewells the arena. Two magnificent columns from both sides honouring this great champion, and without any fuss, any ado, and obviously carrying the disappointment of defeat, he takes his final curtain call and leaves the arena after a glorious, glorious career. As you can hear in the background, the victorious Richmond song rings the Gabba. 12-9-81 to 7-8-50. 3AW Football, all thanks to McDonald's in this year again, and we do thank everyone involved at McDonald's, but indeed all of our wonderful and loyal sponsors, especially in a year like this. Thank you for your support, and thank you very much for your loyalty. Lee, I don't know how many games you were meant to do this year, but can I just thank you for your magnificent work, being available basically every shift, being located in the hot spot of it all. Give us a 30-second reflection on the greatness of Richmond, and give us your votes, please.
Well, yeah, mighty effort. I mean, they really looked like they were in trouble. Geelong had them off the bit in the first half, and they were lucky to be only 15 points behind. But as they do so often, when they get the thing going, get the ball running forward, play forward footy under pressure, 9 goals, 7 second half. So they're clearly deserved winners, and long. It's amazing. About an hour in footy at half time, they looked like they were in real trouble. But then by the last quarter, they were just completely running away with the game. My votes, I always like starting at the top because that's the hard one. I gave Martin 5, not so much hard tonight, but he was best on ground. I thought Short was second best on ground, gave him 4, gave Edwards 3. I thought he was third best on ground. And a couple of Geelong players. I thought Selwood was really good, gave him 2. And Duncan, I thought, was the other Geelong player, particularly the first half, was really good. So that was probably my 5 best players on the field.
I must ask, Lee, what makes why is Damien Hardwick a great coach?
Got good players to coach.
Yes, that's very true.
I mean, he's obviously got great relationships with players. I mean, people ask that question all the time, and it's a whole footy department, Tone, and people can't really realise it. You don't just say, oh, the Richmond footy department's good. There's 20 or 30 or 40 of them. So Damien gets the credit for all the things that the whole football department do. That's what the senior coach, they get the criticism for when things go wrong, and they get the criticism when they go right. What is Damien's strength as a coach? I'm not behind the scenes to know the question, Tone.
Yeah.
I'd love to give you the answer, but he's got great relationship with his players. They clearly love the environment that he creates and the relationships that he builds. That aside, it's always so hard to differentiate the performance of the team and what the coach is contributing to that performance, which is why I equivocate a little bit about being able to answer that question honestly.
But they should be held up to some sort of adulation to know that they had been a club league, that had been riven with rancour, that there had been division. But you're just seeing now 3 flags in 4 years.
Yeah, it's been an outstanding last few years, hasn't it? 17, 18, 19, and I mean, let's face it, Collingwood, Mason Cox had a really good half a quarter, and that was helped get Collingwood over the line in that preliminary final in 2018. I mean, they've been the best team for 4 years. Doesn't mean you win the premiership just because you're the best team any 1 year, but they've got their 3 flags in the 4 years. So I think that's the dynasty. That's the dynasty level. If you can get 3 flags in a short period of time, I think that you're automatically a dynasty, and Richmond is certainly one. And hey, they're not finished yet. They've got plenty to offer.
Richmond doing their victory lap. We'll take our final break and be back to wrap it up. Richmond, the 2020 premiers, by 31 points over Geelong across Australia. Thanks to McDonald's. You're listening to 3AW Football.